third set, and I started a joke, and I go, "Did I do this?" And I did not know, and they had to answer me. And also the third show,
All right.
I see this big monster SUV pull up, and these 6 people in their 20s come in and they order champagne. And if you're in your 20s and you're ordering champagne, first of all, what kind of champagne are you getting at the Punchline?
Something with either a cap or a plastic cork.
Yes. And so they proceed to reflect upon each one of my jokes amongst themselves. And there's only 50 people in the crowd, and there's 6 of them, and they are in the front row, and they are the most spoiled little yuppie douchebags. And I got to where I just very gently said, "Can you guys please stop talking? It's kind of distracting to people on the show." And I could have been nicer. And then they all got these little pissy looks on their face, arms crossed. The dudes were like staring me down. And so I ignored them for like 15, 20 minutes, and then I finally went, "Hey, I can't do this with the comedy black hole in the front row here.
Right.
What the fuck is up with you people?" I go, "I wasn't rude to you." And then they said, "Well, you told us not to say anything." I go, "I didn't say don't smile."
Right.
And so now I get into it with them for like a good 10 minutes. We are breaking down between us. We're negotiating what their mood is going to be. And then I did some and then it broke out of it. And it's like, I realized like at the end of that show, after doing 3 shows on a Saturday, I was on the plane home the next morning feeling like I was a stronger comic. That I had just run with weights on, and the next gig is going to be a piece of cake, and you need those.
Yeah, no, it's all good. You do feel a lot sharper when you pile on a bunch of shows and do things that are different and all that. I completely agree. Oh, it's a funny Mike August, because Mike August stories from the road are always the best. And one of my favorite parts of life is when people don't know something that they should know that's sort of right in front of their face. Like once in a while, you'll run into some girl and her name is Sarah. And you'll go, "Oh, like Hall & Oates, Sarah's Smile," right? And they go, "What?" And I go, "Come on, it's a song. It's with your name." And they go, "Yeah, I don't know." And I go, "Hold on a second. There's no way your dad didn't sing that to you when you were a little kid, or you had an uncle that said something, or someone took you to a Hall & Oates concert." It's like, I've never heard that song. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I'm very interested in those people. So you can look it up, Andrew. It's popped in my head. But one of the clubs in whatever Colorado was Looney's. And Looney's is... It's more of one of those freestanding metal buildings that they advertise on Fox, where you store farm equipment. But they put carpet squares down and chairs. You know what I mean? And like, look, Fitzdog will tell you there are 2 kinds of places. Well, there's a bunch of places, but there's 2 kinds of clubs. There's dedicated comedy clubs, and then there's just buildings where they could have sold flooring last month, but now it's a comedy club. But that's where they just put a stage and a microphone and a backdrop. But the thing that was funny about Looney, and Looney's was fun. I mean, again, it was like the green room. I mean, the furniture in the green room is the worst I've ever seen. And anyone who travels and does clubs and has been to green rooms knows that's a real statement. Like right there, that means a lot. But so Looney's. So I'm doing press before I go into Looney's. And the guy, he's like a younger guy, and I think he said, like, "Give me the name of a comedian who you've tutored or mentored or you made a big impact on," or something like that. And I said, "George Burns." And he just looked at me blank, like he had no idea who George Burns was. And I was like, "You made a big impact on George Burns." I think he kind of followed my footsteps. And the guy was like 31, and he's just sort of looking at me the whole time.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, I think he's not around anymore, but if you talk to George Burns, he'd tell you that Adam Carolla was kind of his mentor, you know." and he just kept looking at me, and then Mike and I, when we were done with the interview, did 20 minutes on these goddamn kids don't know who George Burns is. And now the guy was, I was thinking what the connection was. He was in, I know what it is. I said the guy played God in Oh God, and that movie starred a guy by the name of John Denver, and we're in Denver right now, and you don't know. I made some weird connect the dots, but I got outright. So then later on, Mike and I went to Red Rocks, and we walked around for an hour, and I said, that guy never heard of George Burns, and then we realized that's how show business is. And then my son was with us, and my son said, who George Burns? Oh, old timer. We were laughing because I said it's back when you would tell jokes, but you also had to sing, even though George Burns
and dance.
Right. So George Burns would go tell a couple of jokes while he was smoking a cigar in a tuxedo, and he'd be 89, and then he'd go, "Won't you be my melancholy baby?" It sounded about as good as I did, and then the piano would tinkle, and he'd put his hands out, and he'd do a little weird step where he step, and then people would be like, "Oh, that's amazing." Right. And it's like, I don't know what he's doing. He can't sing, he can't dance. He should just tell jokes. And then Mike said, well, they were entertainers back then. They had Bob Hope. They all had to sing. They all had to do the soft shoes. So we do 20 minutes on George Burns. Then at some point, we get in the car, and we drive to Looney's, an hour away. And as we're walking into Looney's, on the sign is a giant caricature of George Burns.
Nice.
If you look at the outside of Looney's, you'll see a giant George Burns.
Great.
Now, you don't see that in any other comedy. And by the way, you can find me pictures of the outside at night or whatever. Find me pictures of the inside. We go to every club in America. There is no George Burns. But at Looney's, later on that night, after a long day of discussing George Burns, we go to a random club in deep Colorado. I mean, it is an hour out of Denver. And you go in there, and there is George Burns on the marquee, essentially, giant on the sign. And then when you walk in, if you show the Looney's bar, behind the bar is a giant George Burns. Mm-hmm. And then everybody in the staff is wearing a George Burns Looney's shirt.
That's amazing.
All right. And then literally every poster... Mm-hmm. Every poster behind the bar, it's 9 foot by 11 foot. The bars in front or lobby or whatever. It's all George Burns. Okay. So then, after the shows, we get back to the comedy condo outside of Denver, and I say to August, "Isn't that crazy? We never talk about George Burns, but for some odd reason, we get on the subject of George Burns." My son's sitting there. I go, "We talk about George Burns, then we can do a deep dive on George Burns, and then a few hours later, we go to this club, and there's George Burns is everywhere. Don't you think that's a bizarre coincidence, Mike?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Mike, there's a huge picture of George Burns." I didn't see anything. I go, "No, but then you walk in and there's another giant..." I didn't see anything. "Mike, everyone's wearing a T-shirt with George Burns." I didn't know. I didn't see anything. I go, "And the menus have George Burns on it. You ordered off the menu."
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought,
Right.
wow.
What's going through his head this whole time?
I would say sawdust, maybe some cotton candy,
Right.
mixed in.
Just a mouse on a wheel running.
So then, you know what everyone has to do when there's a coincidence they don't appreciate or get? They have to then not appreciate it. So then we're going to the club the next night. And I go, "Okay, now Mike, you walk in, find that bar picture. Find me a bar picture." No, not out there. I said, you walk in, there's a giant lit up picture of George Burns. There's a mural inside of George Burns. And then we walk in. I go, look at it, it's George Burns. She goes, yeah, okay. Because he didn't get it the first time. We got to tamp it down.
Right. No, George Burns and Gracie Allen, they had a comedy team that was like the comedy team of all time.
That's the inside.
Oh my God!
This is all George Burns. Anyway, yes.
And Gracie Allen, who played the ditzy. This is the role that females had to play back then. Mm-hmm. She had to play the dummy. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
But she was completely the brains of the operation.
Really?
We'll talk about it later. She wrote the material. She, strategized their career, everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He must have outlived her because he outlived everyone. And then also like the thing when we were a simpler society and things were just sort of easier and we got more pleasure out of nothing. I remember as a kid, the big thing with George Burns is he's booked at Caesars on his 100th birthday. Uh-huh. And that was so quaint and so cool. And like I remember being 11 going, that's cool. That's because he's booked. Now, we don't know if he's going to make it because he's 91, but he's on his 100th birthday.
9 years early.
Or could have been 15 years early. But the whole thing with George Burns, or maybe it was 95 at the time, but the whole thing is you on your 100th birthday are going to be booked at Caesars in Las Vegas, and that was like Johnny Carson. People like that's a good story, right?
Yeah, it was like building up to Evel Knievel's jumps.
Yes.
A year in advance, he's going to jump the Snake River Canyon.
Yes.
But that's assuming, first of all, that Caesars is going to be in business, and it's also assuming it's not going to be a dump on the Strip in 15 years.
Well, did George Burns make it to 100? If he didn't make it to 100, he made it to 99 and a half. And did he make it to that date on Caesars, at Caesars Palace at 100, which, would have been in 1989 or something weird like that?
Well, I'm going to announce right now that on my 60th birthday, I will be in Irvine at the Improv.
I'm going to be at Looney's on my 85th birthday. Explaining to Mike who that is up on the wall. He made it to 100 and his birthday. He made it to 100, but he didn't make it past 100. Or you can say he's 103 or something. I'll do the made it math.
No, he just made it to 100.
Just 109.
I love that.
Adam, another weird little magnet moment. Today is his birthday.
No!
Oh
Tell Mike so Mike can go, yeah, okay. Anyway.
Wow.
Today can't be his birthday. It can't. Listen to me, Fitzdog. Listen to me.
We should be smoking cigars right
Listen to me. I have a list here of shit I want to talk about, but this isn't on it.
No.
You were just talking about playing club. I got a bunch of clips and junk and people I want to make fun of, but this is not a talking point.
Right.
Before the show, when you're talking about doing shows and being a road dog and coming off the road in theaters or whatever, I just went, oh, yeah, road. Yeah, I've been on the road. And then Looney's popped up, and then Mike popped up. Today is George Burns' birthday? It's his birthday? That's insane. That's weird.
That is nuts. That is really nuts.
Now, by the way, you can go, well, you just got off the road. No, this is 2.5 weeks ago. I hadn't talked about this. This isn't. I didn't come from Colorado. I came from. I came from Oregon last week. Those were the theater shows. This is back to that.
Wow.
Today's his birthday.
That's amazing.
So he never got to Caesars on his 100th because he died on his 100th or around it. He was 100 when he died.
Did they refund the tickets, or do you lose that?
I don't know. We should check into that.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll give you one more. I'll give you a Mike August in a nutshell, because I like stories that encapsulate people, where you go,
well,
I know exactly who he is from this story.
Right. Well, Mike is your whole whack pack.
Yes, he's all of them.
Yeah.
You don't need more than Mike.
No.
He's a Swiss Army knife of whack pack. You don't need 5 different guys. You just need one Mike. It's like a Swiss Army knife. So it reminded me, let's see. Did George Burns play Caesars on his 100th birthday? Did George Burns play? No, George Burns did not perform at Caesars Palace on his 100th birthday, while he had long been booked to play a series of sold-out shows at Caesars Palace for his 100th birthday, January 1996, or today's date, 1996. He was forced to cancel the arrangement because of frail health. I want to sit down with my kids and I want to go, let me explain life. This is life. Everyone loves it. He's booked to play a series. It's sold out. He's going to do it on his 100th birthday. This is amazing. Uh-oh, he's 100. He's frail and sick. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
That's life. It's got a lot of promise, but then a lot of canceled bookings and death.
I feel like almost every show that my agent will always call me and be like, hey, do you want to do this gig in Fresno? And you always go, Fresno. I can drive. I can be home. Probably a lot of cool people. And then you show up at Fresno and you're just like, what did I get myself into? It's almost always not what you thought it was going to be. And I never do anything during the day. I don't know if you're out, like, it sounds like you walked Red Rocks, but
oh, when you're on the road.
With the jet lag and the shows
when you're on the road.
And trying to get back to email. Like, I go airport, hotel, club, hotel, airport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oftentimes, I don't do anything. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Cleveland
right,
last weekend.
right, yeah.
And that was, I mean, if you've never been there, people, go to Cleveland. Cleveland's a fun city, and it's got this Hall of Fame that always has a new installation. So this one was SNL. Every musical fucking outfit instrument from SNL's history, and then they've got these big screen TVs with a few sets of headphones on each one, and you can dial up any performance in 50 years of Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
So of course I pull up. First one I pull up is what?
Let's see.
What's the most famous musical performance on SNL?
Sinead
O'Connor, 1992.
Yeah, because I wasn't thinking of it as a musical performance. I was thinking it was just a act.
So I go to that, and they've got it blocked out. It's not in it.
What?
No. And then I go to 1990, and I'm a Sinead O'Connor fanatic. She's just the greatest female singer of all time.
Did she kill herself recently?
She didn't kill herself. I thought she did also, because when she first died, it was, she had been depressed. I think she may have attempted suicide prior to that.
Son kill himself?
Son killed himself. And so she ended up dying. I think it was coronary or something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm standing there, and there's a 1990 performance that she did, which was her first time on.
I do want to say this quickly. If you're going to be depressed your entire life and then you die in your 50s, people just going to default to suicide.
Right.
Like they just go, oh, she killed herself.
Yeah.
Like no one, when Dick Van Dyke dies, no one's going to go, oh, he killed himself. Because he's too happy.
No, it's a little bit like George Burns' 100th birthday
Killed
at Caesars.
himself.
You sort of, you're expecting something from this person.
Yeah. So Sinead died of chronic COPD. Sorry, go ahead. So, performance.
So, 1990, she comes out, and I'd never seen her. Nobody had seen her. And she comes out with a shaved head, and these delicate feet, the most beautiful face, but then the shaved head makes her look kind of tough.
Yeah.
And the camera, she sings this song called This Is the Last Day of Our Acquaintance. It's a slow building breakup song with anger underneath it, and it just, the camera just keeps coming in tighter and tighter and tighter on these beautiful brown eyes. And then as they're doing it, this 14-year-old girl in like a Taylor Swift t-shirt comes by, and she looks at the screen and she's like, what's that? So she grabs the other set of headphones and puts them on, and she starts building, and it gets to where it's just her on an acoustic guitar, just strumming this acoustic guitar. And then it builds and it builds to where the song can't contain this as a solo anymore. And then the drums kick in and the band, and it just, boom. And I see this girl jaw drop, and she's looking at it, and I've got tears in my eyes, and the mother is tapping her on the shoulder and trying to pull her like to go to the next exhibit. The girl is not, she's not looking away. And then
now, is the performance from SNL?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on stage at SNL.
Right.
And she just walked away, and I was just like, yeah, that chick.
But that wasn't before she did the Pope rip.
That was before the Pope rip.
I mean, it was before, but the second song was the Pope rip.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got a song called "The Emperor's New Clothes," which is good too.
Yeah, that's great.
She's good.
Yeah.
Wait, Andrew, it just struck me just because I have to get to the essence of Mike. The menu at Looney's, the menu, it's limited, but the menu, if there's a picture of the menu with the sandwiches on there, because I'll give you Mike, and then I'll give you me too, in terms of I get fooled a lot because I'm sort of a literalist. Like when people talk about things, I believe them. But lots of times I go, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would somebody do that? And they go, well, that's what happened. And then it turns out it didn't happen. But I usually question it a lot.
Yeah.
So we get to Looney's, underneath in the shadow of George Burns, which Mike is not noticing. And Mike goes to the menu and he's going to order sandwich, right? So Mike's looking at the menu. I'm not looking at the menu. I don't like to eat before I go out on stage. I just don't like. Since I was a kid, when I ate, I like to lie down. And when I go to my grandfather's house and eat Hungarian food as a kid, it was sort of a running joke. But I would eat, and then I would lay down, under the table, and they would continue with their evening, and I'd just be laying there. I tend to want to lay down. So. All right, so there's a sandwich. I think it's the club. It's a club. There's pictures of George Burns on the menu. There's multiple pictures. Mike is looking at a sandwich under a picture of George Burns, but there's a club sandwich, I think, or comedy club. All right, now enlarge that if you can, and I'll tell you. So Mike's looking at the menu, right? And I'm standing around, and Mike goes, "Well, I'm gonna get a sandwich," and I go, "Oh, okay." And then he goes, a little bigger if you can. I don't know if I can read it from here. So then Mike goes, I haven't seen the menu. I'm not looking at menu. So Mike goes, I'm gonna get the BLT. And I said, BLT? That's a weird club sandwich. Clubs have burgers, and occasionally they'll have like a chicken sandwich or something like that, but they don't do BLTs.
No.
I've never seen a BLT, but Mike's holding the menu. He goes, I'll get a BLT. And then he goes, yeah, this BLT, it's turkey, roast beef, ham, cheese, tomato, lettuce, bacon, lettuce, tomato. And I go, that's not BLT, Mike. And he goes, yeah, it's a BLT. It's a bacon, lettuce, tomato. So I go, they're putting beef on your BLT? He goes, yeah, well, that's the way they do it. I go, I've never heard of a club selling a BLT sandwich, but I've also never heard of roast beef on a BLT. Now I'm not looking at it. And then the sandwich shows up. And it's bacon, lettuce, tomato, and bread. It's nothing, just it's a BLT. Mm-hmm. And Mike gets the sandwich, and Mike goes, there's no turkey or beef or anything on this. The menu said it had turkey and cheese and beef on it. I said, well, but that's a BLT. He goes, yeah, well, but it said it had turkey and beef on it. I go, well, I don't know, but it just made you a BLT. Yeah, but on the menu it said it had. I go, that's weird. It's weird that they had a BLT, and then it's weird that it had beef on it, and then it's weird that they gave you a BLT they just gave you what you ordered on the menu, but they didn't put any beef on it.
Right.
So then I go, well, let me see, what is this BLT? So I pick up the menu. Well, the BLT, Mike calls a BLT, is called a comedy club. It's a triple-decker, turkey, roast beef, bacon, ham, cheese. Now, here's where it gets it. It says bacon, and then it says tomato, lettuce, mayo. So then Mike puts it down and goes, it's a BLT.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a BLT, but then Mike ordered a BLT because Mike took the comedy club sandwich because it had the ingredients. It had bacon, lettuce, and tomato on it. Mm-hmm. He made it a BLT, and then when the waiter came by, he went, give me the BLT. Mm-hmm. And the waiter went, all right, we can try that. And then the waiter made him a BLT and brought it back. And then Mike wants to know where the beef and the ham and the cheese is.
He's asking the waiter.
He could have just said the name of the sandwich to the person, and he could have got the sandwich he wanted. And then also, like the fifth time, I went, BLT. I've never heard of a BLT. but I'm assuming it's on the menu. There is no BLT on the menu. Mike made up his own sandwich looking at the menu,
Yeah.
and then had them concoct it for him,
Right.
and then wanted to know where the turkey was when they brought it back. But he could have simply just given the name of the sandwich, which is the Comedy Club. Also, it's a club sandwich which has bacon, lettuce, and tomato on it. It just has cheese and turkey and ham. It's a club sandwich. So Mike looked down and went, it's BLT, and put the menu down, and he was off and running. Now, the good news is Mike is also the Stone Pelican, so whatever they put in front of him, he just vacuumed that thing right up. Never knew. But Mike never knew what happened, is what happened. And I had to sit down and explain to him, this is what just happened. You took a sandwich, called it something else, and then they accommodated you. But you could just say the name of the sandwich as it appears on the menu.
Yes. And
Thus, confusion is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Now, confusion. And here's what I tell everyone. The third time I say to someone, BLT, never heard of that. I've been to 1,000 clubs. I've never seen that on the menu. That's your opportunity to go, let me just double check.
well, right, because there's never been a fresh piece of lettuce at a comedy club
That's
in my
right.
life. Or
Drunk people don't want a beat.
No.
That fucking 2-drink minimum crowd, they want a sloppy burger and nachos and shit. They're not
Nachos.
looking for BLT.
yeah, chicken fingers is a stretch.
Morgan and Morgan. There's a reason why Tom Brady's got 7 rings, just like there's a reason Morgan and Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Over 20 billion recovered for more than 500,000 clients. That's not a slogan. That's what we call results, ladies and gentlemen. In one Florida case, the insurance offered $350K. Client walked away with 12 million thanks to Morgan and Morgan. They've been doing this for 35 years, fighting for the people. I would go ahead and include you in those.
5 language courses for life learning potential.
So, the pattern people. Like, you have to think about patterns. So, Mike is looking at the menu. I haven't touched a menu, but I know there's no BLT because we've been to 2,000 clubs and there's never been a BLT. So it's a pattern thing with me. So the funny thing is people, do yourself a favor and just kind of read patterns. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is like we were driving into the club and the guy goes, we got our opener there, Rudy. And Rudy goes, I was doing one show. They go, they're doing a second show. They want to start right at 7 and they want to make sure Adam just keeps it to an hour. Just, would he be okay? Just stay to an hour. Don't go past an hour. Start right at 7. And then he hangs up the phone. And then we're driving around and I go, yeah, they're doing a late show. And Mike goes, they're not doing a second show. And I go, yeah, Rudy said they're doing a second show. He goes, I didn't hear him say that. I go, well, Mike, they want to start right at 7 and they want to limit me to an hour. Yeah? I go, well, that means there's a second show. No, it doesn't. I go, like, if there's no second show, they'll just go, we'll start at 7:10 because I want to get everyone in there and they want to sell them more drinks. And they'll also go, do whatever time you want. There's no second show. But if there is a second show, then they start right at 7 and they
Right.
cut you off. They go, we got to have you in by 8:30. You know, that's the way we're going to do it. So I go, Mike, second show. He goes, I didn't hear him say anything. But I go, you don't need to hear what he has to say, but he said it. The fact that they want to start right at 7 when they always start late, and the fact that they go stop at an hour, which they never do at a theater or anywhere else, means there is a second show de facto. You know it. I know it because that's why they say it. But Mike's like, I didn't hear him say it, and I'm like, they don't have to say it. That's what they're saying.
And he's your tour manager.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So he's going, I don't think there's a second show, and I go, I know there's a second show. They won't do these things unless there's a second show.
Right.
But also, he said there was a second show. But,
Yeah.
but even that aside, what I'm saying is you can get all the information you want if you learn patterns. If you go to 1 million clubs and there's no second show, they always want to start the first one a little late.
Yeah.
They'll go, well, let's start at 7:10. 7:10. There's still a few people out in the lobby.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is.
Right.
The only time they get hard with it is if there's a second show.
Sure.
And same with time.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a couple things. One is I keep sitting home watching TV and seeing dog food commercials where the stuff is fresh cooked and there's no additives and there's like vegetables and it's in a pouch and
Keep in
it's
your fridge.
It's all keep in your fridge and this is made with non-GMO chickens and all that kind of stuff. And I literally thought I leaned back the other day and I was like, dogs eat better than I ate as a child.
Yes.
Their parents, their owners put much more effort and money into nutrition and a wholesome meal than my fucking parents did.
Yeah.
Like, we got either nothing or some sort of Swanson Salisbury steak slop, some sort of institutional slop. Like, dog food is now A, much healthier than what I grew up on. And then B, as I was looking at Dawson with his pup, Mitch, and the dog bed, dogs also have much better beds than I grew up on.
Yeah.
The bed and the food with dogs have exceeded my childhood.
How about
Quite
the
easily.
shampoo?
Shampoo
I use
better?
soap. I use Ivory soap on my head.
You just use a bar.
Yeah.
Like you're in the Navy.
Oh my God! There was the food that we got when I was a kid. My mother, she grew up the youngest of 6.
Mm-hmm.
Bronx. Parents off the boat from Ireland, no money.
Yeah.
And my mother was not taught how to cook.
No.
So our meals were Tuesday nights was Gluck night.
Yeah, your mom made some sort of, and like if Hamburger Helper had a Down syndrome brother,
Exactly.
that's what you were served.
Yes.
Mhm.
And tuna fish casserole.
I don't even know what Gluck is.
Gluck is ground beef in butter on a pan that is then placed on a buttered piece of Wonder Bread.
Good
And that
Gluck.
was dinner.
With that.
Good Gluck. Needed a Glock after
Mike
that.
calls that a BLT.
And then all the greasy meat would fall through the buttered Wonder Bread
Yeah.
onto your plate.
Uh-huh.
And you were given a salad fork to eat it with. And then our beverages, my mom was so cheap. We grew up with money. My dad was successful.
Mm-hmm.
But we grew up as if we were poverty-stricken Bronx 1950s kids.
Uh-huh.
So she used to get, I don't know if you remember, well, you definitely don't remember this, but there were these shrimp cocktails that came in a little glass, and they had a metal top on them.
I had never seen seafood until my 30th
Yeah,
birthday
right.
because that was
So you
considered
didn't see
exotic. I didn't
Yeah.
see food, but I never, shrimp or that stuff
Yeah,
was
yeah,
weird and
yeah.
exotic and
Well, it
stuff.
came in these little 6-ounce
Uh-huh.
glasses, and then my mother would not buy glasses. So,
Right.
So we drank like shots of milk at dinner. And never a salad, never a piece of bread, barely any vegetables.
I was also, there was a great tape that I think you would enjoy that I forgot I liked it. Somebody tweeted to me, but it was like a youth basketball game, and there's one kid in a wheelchair, and it must have been the end of the game, but it was like Make-A-Wish time, and someone sort of fed him the ball, and they made a little room, and then one 13-year-old brother just came in and swatted it out of the sky, and also did that dance where they go, ah! I don't know what happened that you sacked the quarterback in a preseason game for a 6-yard loss, and you got to go, ah! It's like, it's preseason.
Right.
It's a 6-yard loss.
Uh-huh.
They're still in field goal range.
Yeah.
Like, what is the scream? I think he does a scream. It's also the parents seem to appreciate the fact that he swatted it. I'll show it to you. And you tell me, are they celebrating this? And you also see other kids on his team clear out. So it's not like his team was going after the ball.
Yeah.
His team understood the kid in the wheelchair
Sure.
had it, so his team backed off and he just came flying out.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch.
I'm guessing when they left, the parents were parked in the handicap spot out front.
The one guy just hands it to, it looks like a girl maybe even. Now look, I'm all for her learning her lesson. I think it was a girl
And she's
in a
the only
wheelchair.
and she's the only white person in the gym.
It's not a wheelchair league either.
You hear the laughing from the crowd?
I'm kind of saying the mom's laughing is the part that's a little disturbing
Yeah.
in this scenario. Now, he goes, he's got a good vertical, and he gets up there, and, I don't know if it was going to be nothing but net but we'll never find out because
He might have saved her some embarrassment.
could have been an air ball.
Could have been an air ball.
I think at the after press conference, that would my argument would be that thing was just an air ball, and I didn't want to fucking pile on, so I took it out. I took the focus onto me, but do it one more time because I want to hear the audience. I want to hear the moms or whoever's filming it seem to enjoy what happened, which is kind of a weird place to be at as a society. You can turn it up a little.
She's not the only one.
That's a little cultural problem there, I think. But still funny.
Yeah.
But and then at some point, one of the boys holds the guy up who swat. I think you can see it. I don't know if they're keeping score. A game couldn't have been that close. It was a girl in a wheelchair. The guy picked up the guy and held him up who swatted it. Listen, I went to high school with a bunch of guys that would have done that. I think it's funny, but it's also it's more about the moms enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because the mom should be like, oh boy, somebody's got to teach this kid right from wrong. All right, another thing I saw, which I admit it'd be a little controversial, but I think we can go there. Somebody sent me a clip, and it was James Clyburn, who's I don't know, representative, I don't know, congressman, whatever, but he was on The View, and he was basically the clip, and we don't even have to watch a clip, but the heading on the clip just basically says, James Clyburn says slavery's coming back, and my thing is, it's probably not coming back, but I just wrote, if it is coming back, I have dibs on Jamie Foxx. Because I just feel like if we are coming back, I want to get early in on Jamie Foxx because the guy's got everything.
Yeah.
And he's so strong, and he's a great performer. He's funny, great dramatic actor. And I would just, I wouldn't put him to work, but I'd be like, if I was throwing a cocktail party, I'd be like, you should really be Ray Charles for tonight and just play the piano the whole time as Ray Charles. And then other people started chiming in, explaining which celebrity slaves they would take as well. Some smart money was on Halle Berry. But I think that was just for sex.
Right.
I didn't feel like that was, they hurt the spirit of it. I got some Morgan Freeman's in there, but he's got to be 84. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's kind of at the end. And then I'm trying to think who are the I stand by my Jamie Foxx because back to the Swiss Army knife, that guy can do it all. Entertaining, funny. I know he had a little medical condition, but I think he's past it now. And I'm not saying I want them to bring back slavery. I'm just saying on the off chance James Clyburn is right, putting it in there early. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Smart. Could you do any better? I mean, you get stuck with Bill Cosby?
Oh, Jesus. He's free, right? Is he free?
Yeah.
He's out there.
He's available.
Yeah.
He hasn't been heard from in a couple years. I mean, he was out doing comedy.
Yeah, every year you hear that he's going to come back and do stand-up again, and then that seems to dissolve. He sells a few tickets. And then they get a bunch of letters, and they go, nah, we think that'd be a bad idea. That would be an amazing idea.
You know what
Just think of the premise. He doesn't have to explain the premise.
You know what? Somebody's going to do this. Somebody is going to do a pay-per-view called Night of Deplorables. And we got to wait until Jared from Subway gets paroled. But I mean, it's just going to be a night of people that have been canceled and not canceled for saying something stupid. I mean, really canceled in our society, and we just do a fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And we hear their story. You know what I mean?
Are there boxing matches?
I don't know if Bill's in good enough shape to do that, and I don't know if Jared from Subway is at cruiserweight or heavyweight. Like, I don't know if he ballooned back up in the joint. I'm just saying, if there was a pay-per-view that just went, look, we got Jared from Subway. He's going to be out in a couple of years, God willing. And we got Bill Cosby.
P. Diddy.
And we got P. Diddy. And we got Lyle Menendez or whatever. And Chris Cuomo's just going to moderate. And here's the whole deal. Nothing's out of bounds. There's no pre-interview. He can fucking ask whatever. Mm-hmm. What gauge shotgun? Whose idea was it? You know, how many kids did you diddle? You know, whatever, Bill. It's all great. I don't know. I would watch that.
Yes.
I would watch it.
Yeah. I think there should be a competition element to it, though. Mm-hmm. I think it should be like Squid Games.
Mm.
And that way everybody gets on board.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be fair. I mean, maybe there's a... for the older people like Bill Cosby, there has to be something that's not physical.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was quite the track star back in the day over at Temple.
Yeah.
I think. And see, I'm fine with you know, getting a little game. You know, we'd have to dress it up. You're right. There'd have to be some stakes and something visual. But I think Bill's just going to have to be a sit down and have anybody, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll host, maybe Megyn Kelly will host. I don't know, but someone to just ask real questions. By the way, I don't have the clip, but I gotta tell you, it'll make you laugh. And I don't know, Andrew, I don't think we can find it because Megyn hasn't released her stuff in full on YouTube, or maybe she has. It's just clips as far as we can tell. But Megyn Kelly had James Woods on her Sirius XM show this morning. And if you can, well, you can find, you know what, Andrew, we'll set it up. You can find the Don Lemon, you know, fuck Ice little soliloquy. So they played the Don Lemon. Don Lemon basically told Ice to fuck off, or fuck Ice, or whatever, and that upset James Woods and Megyn Kelly. But I'll play the thing. Now, my thing with Don Lemon is everyone's entitled to their opinion. As a comedian, I want it crafted a little better. Like Jon Stewart probably is aligned with Don Lemon on many political subjects, but does it in an entertaining way. Mm-hmm. He just does fuck off, which is not really right. It's not really, as a journalist and entertainer, whatever, not really making a point. But I'll just do 45 seconds of Don Lemon.
Attention, Ice. Let me just say something that most journalists will not say. They can't say it. I understand that. But I'm an independent journalist now, so I can't say it. Fuck off, Ice. Fuck all the way off. You are low-life losers, and you feel empowered by your dear leader, Donald Trump. You've never had this position of power before, small person, and you are treating people in an inhumane way, and you don't even understand why, because you're too dumb to figure it out. You are the poorly educated that Donald Trump loves. That's who you are. And you're out there doing his bidding, doing things that are illegal, doing things that are unconstitutional, doing things that are inhumane, like killing someone because you're pissed off because this person may be notifying people that you're in the area trying to round people up. That is that person's First Amendment right to do. You can do that as an American, but maybe not in Donald Trump's America. You are fat fuck losers who just crawled out of a trailer park from some Proud Boy meeting.
All right, so he's angry at ICE. Now, the guy who runs ICE, who he hates the most, is Tom Holman, who ran ICE for Barack Obama, who deported more people with Barack Obama, who Barack Obama gave the presidential medal to. It's the same guy. So he's wrong. I mean, they've been busy for a long time, but he didn't do a very good job of articulating himself. And I think Don Lemon is dumb, is really the bottom line. But he's also a narcissist. But either way, James Woods did not take kindly to these words. Mm-hmm. And so James Woods was on with Megyn Kelly, and James said, he goes, he's a small man, and Megyn Kelly didn't hear the joke, but James Woods goes, he's a small man, and then Megyn said, oh, calling him a man, that would be a stretch, and James said, oh, he's been stretched. And then Megyn kept piling forward, and it's one of those things where I'm in the car and I heard it, but Megyn was on to her next whatever. Yeah. But he goes, he's been stretched. And I also it made me long for a simpler day, which is old school gay jokes. Mm-hmm. We had old school gay.
Yeah.
And James Woods gave the old school gay.
Yeah, he went right to it, and Megyn Kelly played it right because it's all clips today anyway, so that'll come out as a clip.
I know, but I was trying to find it, and it's not. See, her people didn't hear what I heard. Uh-huh. He's been stretched.
Right.
Thing. And that doesn't mean stretched in working 5 jobs. It's a different kind of stretch, kids. But her people didn't hear it, and that's why I don't think it's ending up anywhere. But then the whole thing hasn't been released yet.
There must be a good reel of Letterman with Richard Simmons with a lot of those comments. Those were fantastic.
It was back, there's a weird thing. Like, it was back when you were either gay or black and or fat, we could just make fucking derogatory comments loosely based on you being gay, black, or fat when you sat and did panel on a game show. Mm-hmm. And the audience was in on it.
Yeah.
The host was in on it. Nobody felt bad for the fat, gay, and or black person. And they would just make those jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. I mean, Sammy Davis Jr. with the Rat Pack and everything, it's every second joke.
Yeah.
It's just he's black.
Well, the roasts still do it. That's the only place you really still see it. I guess probably South Park, the roasts, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it in terms of like good comedy that's doing it.
Yeah, I used to do this joke. I never do it anymore, but I did do it in the in the last roast I did, which was Alec Baldwin. Sean Hayes from Will and Grace brought me up on stage. He was the roast master or whatever, and then he said, a bunch of horrible shit about me, because that's how they do it. And then they bring you up, and then after he said all these horrible things about me, and then I got up, I went, Sean Hayes, everybody. Will and Grace is back on the air, everybody. That's quite a comeback. Incidentally, comeback was Sean's nickname in high school because that's where the lacrosse team would finish. They fucking cut it.
No, they didn't.
They cut it.
Oh, my God.
Comeback, gay joke, Sean Hayes, Will and Grace. Come on now. No, they fucking cut it.
It's kind of a perfect joke.
They cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That was good.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself. Yeah.
And now he does that shit. Is he on that Smartless show? Is that him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why it takes 3 guys to do a 1-hour podcast, but
no, it seems like a lot.
That's a 2-man or maybe even a one man there.
I don't know. They got like $100 million, so I guess that stretches out 3 ways.
I'll tell you what I think. I mean, I'm not and no shade, but I will say this. I think there's something that there's a math that Hollywood and comedians and whomever sort of figured out, which is, and I think Amy Poehler's this way, Smartless, the podcast is sort of this way, it's filmed this way. They did a math. Now, they said, I have a Rolodex of celebrity friends that's basically endless. And we're in Hollywood, and we're all sort of squarely on the left. So we can get George Clooney, but we can get Joe Biden in here, too. We can get Kamala Harris. We can get everybody because we're on the left. We all vote the same way, and we're real we're not going to ask a bunch of tough questions or grill any politicians or get into sordid anything. So it's a simple equation. You get these incredible guests, and then you have comfortable conversations with them, and then Joe Biden comes by and you go, "Hey, Joe, you're doing a great job." And he goes, "Thank you." And then you go, "What's your favorite ice cream?" And he goes, "Vanilla." And you go, "This was great. Thank you for coming in." And then he leaves, and then you get to say Joe Biden is the guest, or Nelson Mandela is the guest, or whoever it is. But you get all these, everyone has their A-list Rolodex, and you're all sort of on the friendly and happy side of all the politics. And so people all come in, and you just have a conversation, but you're really getting paid from your Rolodex in your relationships. And that doesn't mean you're a hack or unfunny or unskilled or anything, but really what it is you're kind of like Amy Poehler is paid for her bookings. It's not like, like Joe Rogan has a guy come in and he's into thermodynamics and he claims it's impossible that anyone ever landed on the moon, and he's got a comb over and a Mennonite beard, and we got to talk to this guy for 3 hours, right? That's a tougher putt, in terms of whatever. But if you have, if you have George Clooney just come in and or Carol Burnett and just cut it up for 55 minutes, it's pretty easy. It's good for the celebrities. It's great for, because it's not a bunch of hard-hitting whatever, not being ambushed or whatever. It looks good. Hey, look at the guests. Look who's coming up next. It's an all-star who's who. Will Arnett is there, or he's doing that show, but Will Ferrell or whoever, and they get all these great bookings. But it's basically like saying, I worked in Hollywood for 30 years. I didn't piss anybody off. I worked with all these great directors and talent, and now I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm just going to get them all to come in, and I'll get $100 million for the podcast, but it's really the Rolodex that's getting $100 million.
Well, I think the whole business is based on big names now. I mean, movies, no movie can get made without 3 major names. And nowadays, they also have to have 1 million followers. They're literally the financial people in movies and TV are looking at your social media before they'll approve you for casting.
Right.
And so you're getting this, this inner circle of people that are doing fucking TV shows, movies, podcasts, ads, and then they're getting into stand-up comedy, and it's become this thing where the agents are just creating this incestuous world that they're all, like you said, it's very safe, it's very expected, there's no curveballs, there's no hard-hitting questions, and I think that's what the audience is coming to expect and want. I think people get uncomfortable with conflict anymore. They don't want, like the old shows where it was like David Brinkley and who was the guy that would be on the left?
Here's something. Yeah, I mean, Tucker Carlson used to do that show.
Yeah.
This guy from the right, from the left, point, counterpoint, here we go. Yeah.
Crosstalk?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Crossfire.
Yeah, and I think it's a shame because you're starting to see like the movies. I watched the Golden Globes. Like I haven't heard of any of these movies, and I've now seen 8 clips. No interest in any of them. They're all milk toast. They're all they just feel safe.
Yeah. I think once cancel culture got into full swing, there's a difference between a football team and a basketball team. We've all seen the football team where they go from we got to score a touchdown to we got to protect the lead. And protect the lead, you get much more conservative, try to run the clock out. You do much safer plays. There's no trickery. There's no hook and lateral. You don't do all that. And the product usually suffers. It's so funny. You've seen it a million times. Like when the Patriots for the Super Bowl played Atlanta, and the Falcons, they went until like halftime, and like the Falcons were up like 27-3, and they went, my God, it's the Super Bowl, and so they just came back out and went, we got to protect this lead, and then of course it didn't work.
Yeah.
If they just kept their foot on the accelerator and did what they did in the first half, they would have kept going. But they got up in their head and they went to the 4 corner and they tried to run out the clock. And I think not wanting to get canceled is a sort of protect the lead, and then always the game gets a little boring. And I think
and that's what I like about stand-up comedy is that at the end of the day, the audience doesn't give a shit about your lead. They don't care about how much you made last year or how big the audience is even. If you're not making them laugh and you're not doing it in a way that they came to love you for, which was probably taking big swings on your way up, then they stop coming. And there's no grace given to somebody because they're successful. I've seen huge names come into the Comedy Store and maybe they're trying new shit and they're not taking the time to maybe do a couple bits that they know work. They're going straight into it, or they're becoming arena acts. I've seen arena acts go away very fast when they get too safe.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually a very honest medium.
No, I agree, and I will say it to you this way. Yeah, the guy could be the biggest comedian in the world. He can go in there, have a couple of dumb premises, and he's all of a sudden they're not laughing. You know what I would say? Say it's like this. Magic Johnson is one of the most beloved characters in our, in modern history, and in LA especially. He did a late night talk show.
Oh yeah.
People tuned in for the first 80 seconds and saw Magic Johnson, their beloved star of the Lakers. Once we got to minute 3, he was a shitty talk show host. And that's how fast you go from most beloved character and best basketball player and all that kind of stuff, the most liked person in LA, to this guy sucks.
Yeah.
That fast. Anyone can do it. And that's how we are as an audience.
How do you feel about Tom Brady as a broadcaster?
I think people were a little tough on him out of the gate. It's not a natural job. It's a reps job. You need reps. You got to call, minor league hockey for 6 years in Ontario, and then you got to make your way up to AAA football or calling arena ball or something like that. It takes like a lot of seat time, like a DJ or a stand-up.
Yeah.
And then since he's Mr. Perfect, he sits down the first day and we're like, all right, Mr. Perfect, impress us. Well, he doesn't have the reps in that world, so he does like a decent enough job. He seems to be fine now, 3 years in or whatever. I mean, some guys are better than others. I don't really have a problem with him. I miss the sort of personality of the Dandy Don Meredith and the Howard Cosell's.
Marv Albert.
Yeah, and John Madden. Like, I miss guys. Here's what they did. They enclosed the press box. They used to leave it open. And then, now, why do you need cold? I'll tell you why you need, what makes it better. It's Buffalo, it's January, it's fucking freezing.
Yeah.
The place is open and they're taking nips. Because during the commercial break, they're fucking reaching for that flask and just need a little warm up. By the way, in the 60s and 70s, it was considered science that you take a shot of Jack Daniels and you will warm up.
Yeah.
Scientifically, it doesn't really hold up, but a St. Bernard would find you and it had that cask of rum, you know what I mean, to help you because you're freezing, right? And so they enclosed it, and once they enclosed it, it was constantly 72 degrees, and everyone sat down, and there was no nipping. Everyone took. By the way, you need a big coat so you can nip, because you need that pocket, that breast pocket. You need to layer if you're going to nip. You know, you're going there with a tight, form-fitting sport coat on. Where are you going to hide the booze? It stands out in your pocket. Those guys are lean and they're mean, and everything's tailored to them. They would come up like Nanook from the north with layers and big coats and everything. And the big coat meant nip, meant you could hide the nip, meant it was freezing outside. Also, no judgment going on. It's a commercial. You know what I mean? It's fucking Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Let's have a little taste.
Oh, yeah. And
then it got boring.
Yeah. They start, they've got assistants. John Madden didn't have an assistant giving him a cappuccino.
Right.
They gritted it out. They smoked cigars. Probably did racial and gay jokes.
Oh, yeah. And they got drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a better time.
Do you remember Joe Namath getting interviewed by the reporter?
I want to kiss you.
That was the greatest.
That was great.
Yeah.
But because, see, it was halftime, If they'd interviewed him before the game, he wouldn't have been drunk. But it was cold. I think it was cold. I think now Broadway Joe famously wore like a huge mink coat on the sideline. But was it cold that day when Broadway Joe said he wanted to kiss Aaron Andrews or whoever?
He was famously photographed at 4 o'clock in the morning in the mink coat, coming out of a nightclub or a hotel with a beautiful young girl or two, and he had and it was a game day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Broadway Willie. Yeah. And by the way, that sort of sent him into rehab, I think, just in case people want to know.
Oh, is that right?
I think the story is upon seeing that, he said, I think I better look into a little Betty Ford here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see where he is in this. It's December. He's been nipping. December 03.
Yeah.
Anyone else has watched Chad play impresses me the same thing impresses them.
What does it mean to you now when the team is struggling?
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling. I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, simple enough. Now listen, if there was no flask and there was no cold weather and there's no nipping, we wouldn't have this moment.
That's right.
The great Joe Willie Namath. All right, let me give you some plugs, Fitzdog. January 30th through Feb 1st, Comedy Mothership in Austin. Oh. February 5th through 7th, Punchline, Sacramento. Then Helium, that's a fun club in Philly. February 13th through the 15th. Go to GregFitzsimmons.com for all the live shows, right, Fitzdog?
That's it, the live shows, and then Fitzdog Radio, and what's my other show? Sunday Papers?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
We'll take a quick break. Be back with Rudy Pavich in the news right after this.
Pluto TV.
888.
Of birds that get shot where I'm from. And as a matter of fact, you'd probably get into more trouble where I'm from for shooting birds than you would be for shooting people.
You want a good bird to human killing ratio. You know, you want a high bird, low human. That's what you want. I'm from Minnesota.
Right.
A lot of birds. Our numbers of humans have gone up drastically in the last couple of months.
Right, but
not as bad as it normally is.
Yeah, you do want a bird to human ratio that's on the happy side with many more birds, because I can say honestly, where I'm from, and in Los Angeles, no one has a gun to go bird hunting.
Yeah.
And the only time they even fire the gun in a direction that's toward the sky versus toward another human being is on the 4th of July. But they still get their way because those bullets come down and kill people, and no bird ever came down.
Yeah. No.
So Los Angeles and Los Angeles residents, and they're not going bird hunting with a 9mm or Glock, whatever. But anyway. We've never shot any birds. It's also weird. It's weird when you come from a land that's sort of cultureless. Where you're from, there's like ice fishing, or like people go. Like I would talk to people, and they'd go, "Oh, we get the day off for deer hunting season when I went to school."
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
There's no where I'm from. There's no such thing as anything. It's just flat roofs, aluminum windows, bad stucco, dumb people walking around, and that's it. If you grow up how I grew up, you will have a dad that did not own a shotgun or any kind of gun, did not own a fishing rod or bowling ball or any sort of apparel, like, you got to put your winter boots on or you got to get your stuff. Just sort of year-round, 80 degrees, people just walking around. Nothing. There was nothing in my dad's closet that would have been, and there was no season, and there's no, hey, we're going, or, we're getting up early Saturday. There's no anything. You just sat. You just walked around. You can go outside and shoot at somebody. But there was no events. There was no snow days. There was no deer hunting. We'd have, the closest we ever got was a smog day. We'd have smog days at school. But smog day was lose because you would have to go to school. You just couldn't do recess or PE.
Yeah.
So now it's me at school who hated the classroom and loved being out on the field having to just spend more time in the classroom because it was a small day.
That's the thing about small towns. I'm from Hibbing, Minnesota, and when we would have the snow days, you would get the snow would come in early in the morning or overnight, and then they'd cancel school, but by the time 10:30, 11 a.m. rolled around, everybody had been shoveled out, everybody had the plow come through, so now it's sledding day all day. And now you can just hit the hills for the rest of the afternoon and not have to be at school.
All
Good
right.
times. It was good times. We used to bring the guns to school. That's where you had like gun safety training. So you just bring it, you'd leave it, you bring it in, you put it in your locker. You bring like a 20 gauge shotgun and leave it in the locker, and then after school you'd go to your gun safety training, and then you get your
Jesus
certificate 6 months later.
Oh, school teachers would never put up with that. Not in Minnesota anymore. All right, what do you got?
A shocking number of U.S. visas reserved for artists of extraordinary ability are going to OnlyFans creators and other social media influencers. It was once allowed to use John Lennon to stay into the country, but now over half of clients seeking the coveted O-1B visa in recent years are either performers on the pornography platform or some other kind of online influencer.
Why do you need to be in this country to do pornography? Like Czechoslovakia, all you need is a bed and a tripod, right?
Yeah, and as a guy who spends a lot of time in Motel 6s on the road, let me tell you, it's a novelty to hear that European voice every now and again. I like a good American accent, but every now and again I'm like, I wonder what the Brits are up to sexually. Jump on OnlyFans, British porn, it pops up. You get that good day.
Yeah, British is the best for porn.
Yeah.
Because what you want in porn, I think, I mean, at least for me, is I want the least likely to do porn. Like, if you really think about porn, what's every guy's porn dream? Well, I want the people who don't want to do porn to do porn. I wanted the cast of Charlie's Angels to do porn, but they wouldn't do porn because they had a job on Charlie's Angels. But there was something about the allure of somebody who really shouldn't have been doing porn. Like, the best compliment you can pay a female porn star is, "Oh, you don't have to do this." That's the best. That means they're the hottest, right? So the British accent makes them even further from porn because they sound educated, and I feel like they could be doing something else.
Yeah, and then there's always the one or two people that sneak in that you didn't want to have do porn, like a Tom Sizemore.
Yes.
Where you go, oh man, Saving Private Ryan, you've fallen from grace, my friend.
He did porn?
Yeah. He did a video of him having sex with, I don't know if they were porn stars or not, but definitely having sex while doing drugs in a hotel room. And I think that was his way, because he was a little off the rocker at the time, and I think that was his way of getting back at his agents and people around him that, quote-unquote, didn't support him.
He will be missed. He was an excellent actor.
Amazing.
And he really should become a cautionary tale. Like, kids don't do drugs. Like, lots of talent, lots of big movies. I mean, the guy's in Heat and Saving Private Ryan. And he came in here once, and he must have been doing some drugs in the bathroom, and he
And I think that was his way, because he was a little off the rocker at the drugs in a hotel. I don't know if they were porn stars or not, but definitely having sex while doing drugs in a hotel room. And I think that was his way, because he was a little off the rocker at the time, and I think that was his way of getting back at
educated.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could be doing.
Do porn like a Tom Sizemore.
Yeah.
Porn stars or not, it's his way, because he was a little off the rocker at the time, and I think that was his way of getting back at his agents and people around him that, quote-unquote, didn't support him.
He will be missed. He was an excellent actor.
Amazing.
And he really should become a cautionary tale. Like, kids don't do drugs. Like, lots of talent, lots of big movies. I mean, the guy's in Heat and Saving Private Ryan. And he came in here once, and he must have been doing some drugs in the bathroom, and he doused himself in talcum powder.
Wow.
Which is it's sort of a move. I've done the non-drug version move of that. I've done the move where I'm wearing the khaki pants, and I take a leak, and I put my dick back in my pants, and I dribble on the front of the khaki pants, and there's clearly a spot, and I've clearly peed on myself. So the pee in your pants version of this is you go to the sink and you slosh more water.
Yeah.
And then you walk out and you go, man, that thing come out like a fire hose. I'm trying to wash my hands. I took a super dry, precise piss. Super precise.
Yeah.
And then I go to wash my hands and the thing comes out again all over me.
Yeah.
He must have gone into the bathroom here to do drugs, and then came out with talcum powder, like literally all over him.
Like Pigpen from Peanuts.
Yeah,
All over.
Yeah, all over him. And now I guess in his mind that would cover his tracks, except for the sink and the water's a feasible hide the urine. Talcum powder on your head is not really feasible, and as a matter of fact, makes me think you did more drugs. You see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, there's also the route that people that were once in movies or had a very good career either go to pornography or stand-up comedy, and I feel like they get more respect when they go to pornography.
Yes.
You know, Screech Powers from Saved by the Bell decided to do stand-up, and that is one of the saddest behind the musics you'll ever watch.
When I did a very early open mic at the Improv when I was, 22 or something, Skippy from Family Ties or whatever was doing
Skippy Pierce
stand-up. Yeah.
Still around. Still tours.
Still
As a stand-up,
tours.
yeah. He goes out with the guy who played Banyan on Seinfeld. It's almost like they have a B-character stand-up tour.
And now it's been 30 years, so maybe more than 30 years, so maybe he's just been doing it all along. But at the time, it was that guy from that TV show is doing stand-up now. And now there's like Jeremy Piven, who goes out, but he's fashioned himself into a good stand-up because he works hard at it,
Sure.
So it can happen. So Skippy's still out.
Still out there. I just saw a billboard the other day. They were coming through the Midwest somewhere. Yeah, him and Kenny Banyan. I forget that guy's name. Both decent stand-ups, I'll say that. The guy who played Banyan, I'm spacing on his name, I said, but good dude. I've worked with him. I was early on the show. He was headlining. We sort of ships in the night, but everybody said great stand-up. Mark Skippy Price, I haven't had a chance to work with, but I do see that he's around and people have worked with him and they go, the worst thing about that guy is that he's annoying. Is that he's just constantly calling, going, can I get a date? Can I get a weekend? And I would much rather have annoying than asshole in a green room.
It struck me because I'm looking at a note that says Drea Di Matteo, obviously from The Sopranos, is turning to OnlyFans. What you want, if you're looking for nudity in the future, you hope that this starlet that you're watching on your favorite TV show takes a turn for the conservative. Because what happens is the TV show you're appreciating her on will come to an end. She will then make a few appearances on Hannity and then be blackballed from the industry in Hollywood, unable to work anymore. And then will have to turn to porn or OnlyFans. If she keeps it to the left, she can keep working in Hollywood and never gonna have to take her clothes off. But Drea Di Matteo took a turn for the conservative, and now if I know conservatives and I know Hollywood, there's no more work for her.
Sure.
Because they love punishing people for opinions they have that are different than their own, while simultaneously complaining about McCarthyism. That's awesome.
Yeah. Good friend of show, Chef Andrew Gruel. Andrew, you got that graphic from Senator Kirsten Gillibrand? She put up recently. We'll get the tweet here in just a second, but Andrew Gruel making the waves on X. She writes, I have to go down there. You can tell the graphic that Chef Andrew Gruel put up. But she wrote, okay, let's see the simulation for yourself. I'm sorry, my eyes are so goddamn bad now.
Well, it's really small.
Yeah, I challenge Secretary Rollins to eat 3 meals a day on $15. Show the American people. So,
Somebody said you could feed.
Absolutely. Andrew Gruel comes out with a graphic that says $13.49 a day. That's 3 meals a day plus 2 snacks, and he breaks it down. Eggs, toast, and yogurt for breakfast. Apples and peanut butter, late morning snack. chicken breast salad for lunch, cheese and nuts or nut butter for snack, 8-ounce braised beef and rice for dinner, and then an ice cream for dessert that leaves a little couple extra dollars for wiggle room and more.
Okay, here's the deal, everybody. I don't give a fuck how much it costs to feed you or your kids. It's you and your kids. So figure out a way to feed yourself. That's not the government's job, Kirsten. I know you guys look at your constituency and poor people, and especially black people, is flawed in some way, and that you have to be like out of a Dove soap commercial where you're taking the seawater birds that are covered in oil and putting them in and cleaning them with your cleaning solution because you are their you've become their you have become their guardians. They don't need you, and they don't do well with you as guardians. They do well when they're swimming in the open sea or soaring in the sky, not you looking after them. They're not damaged goods. They can get their own IDs, and they can get their own food, and they can take care of their own kids. And as I've screamed on this show and any other show for a million years, it doesn't cost, when you do this, that's a food desert, and they don't have access to whatever. Okay. They don't have access to Haley Baldwin's smoothie or whoever made that smoothie over in Irwan over there for like a $27 smoothie. Who made the $27 smoothie? Haley Bieber.
Oh, sure.
Haley Bieber had like the $27 smoothie that you could get at Irwan in Santa Monica. Okay, they don't have access to that. Neither does anybody. I mean, that's out of the reach of all Americans. And even the ones that have the money like I do wouldn't fucking waste it on that shitty smoothie. Okay. But everyone, the most healthy thing you can eat is a hard-boiled egg. That doesn't cost anything. You can do that. You can do an apple and a hard-boiled egg and some carrots and some celery and some bread and some rice and some beans. Anybody can do that financially. So this whole thing where it's like they don't have access. No, you guys want to let them use their food stamps at Jack in the Box. Mm-hmm. That's your plan. Yeah. That's what you guys want. And when they don't want to be able to buy pineapple soda with it, you guys get your fucking panties in a bunch. That's you guys poisoning them. I'm saying get a budget together, be healthy, cook your, and again, lean ground beef, rice, beans, an onion, a bell pepper chopped up, a garlic, whatever, a little olive oil. It doesn't it's not a price thing. It isn't. And you guys sit around and argue over it all the time. Okay, fuck it. It's not $13.49. It's $17.21. I don't give a fuck. Don't have kids if you can't take care of the kids. And by the way, the government is going to be in charge. The one who invented the old food pyramid and feeds institutional slop to kids at schools for their free meals. You guys are going to be in charge of what the kids eat? I don't know if that's a great plan.
Yeah, the next time you walk into a grocery store and somebody comes up and goes, "Hey man, a little down on my luck, and you buy me some lunch," say sure. And when they walk up with a bag of Doritos and a 2-liter Mountain Dew,
right,
say, I'm not buying that for you, and watch everybody spin their heads and go, "Well, what an asshole you are."
Oh, and I want to say this too. When you're poor, you don't get to eat how you want.
Absolutely.
You do not get to go to a steakhouse 3 nights a week. When I was poor, it was, first off, the top of the steakhouse was Sizzler. You couldn't that was where it ended. Sizzler was the most expensive, nicest place my dad would ever go to. But we were always poor. My grandfather didn't have any money. He'd make a huge pot of chicken paprikash, It says first off, you got to burn some calories. You cook it. Mm-hmm. You do it. Yeah, you can go to a restaurant and have someone else do it, but you're going to pay for someone else to do it. If you ever went out to the restaurant, it would always be like, we're not doing an appetizer and a drink. I mean, when I was a kid, it was zero. But even when I was 25, if I ever went out to dinner, it wouldn't be appetizer and a glass of wine. It would be a glass of wine or an appetizer, probably neither, because there's not enough money to go around. Let the fucking people figure it out. And the kids are all fucking fat anyway. So whatever you're doing it wrong. And yes, a hard-boiled egg, while it's the best thing for you, is not appetizing. It doesn't intrigue people. They don't want to do it. But by the way, you know what else doesn't feel good? Push-ups. Push-ups don't feel good, but you need it, and kids need it, and neither does jogging, and neither does a little bit of wind, a little gravity, a little something pushing back at you. But it's all necessary. So fuck right off. And by the way, who are you? When did we enter this world and this relationship with the government when it's like, hey, we need free buses, we need free daycare, we need free K through whatever, we need free college, we need free food. I didn't sign up for this. I never thought that was the deal. Nobody I ever grew up with thought that was the deal. Mm-hmm. The deal was, you have kids, they're your kids, you pay for your kids. If something fucking happens and a tree falls on you and you're confined to a wheelchair and you lose your job, then the government will be a safety net to help you out for a finite period of time while we find you a job that you can do from a desk in your wheelchair. That's it.
Yeah. Also, a little bit of eating poor might take a couple of pounds off you. And, you know, it might be nice. It's probably good for your liver and for your innards to maybe cut back on some of the calories.
Jesus Christ. I had a job framing a house in Malibu, which is gone now because of the fires, but this fire's like from 25 years ago. But we were up on the top of the hill, and there was no Mickey D's run, and there was no Taco Bell run. You had to pack your own shit. Mm-hmm. And I was a poor bachelor, and making a world-class sandwich was like way out of range. Cheese and deli meat was high end.
Iceberg lettuce on a sandwich? What?
I would have had to buy things and toast things. First off, the components: mayonnaise, mustard, pickles, relish.
The flag in there, the toothpick.
It all out of range. So what I do, I would bring 2 hard-boiled eggs, an apple, and a little box of raisins, and then every day at lunch, we would sit down on the back terrace, and guys who were married, they'd open that little squatty thermos. I miss the squatty thermos, not the tall boy.
Not
the one
Stanley.
You put the stew in, the stew thermos, you know? And they'd open it up, and they'd be eating it because their wife made them stew, and I'd be like, it smells good, man. That's savory. The other one have a nice big pastrami sandwich, and I'd have a hard-boiled egg and a raisin, and it fucking sucked, but I was eating healthier with my apple, my hard-boiled egg. It was all just shit I could buy and throw in a bag and leave and not have to make in the morning, at 6 a.m. or whatever. But you do eat healthier when you're on a fucking budget.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't trust anybody who never had to mix skim milk and chocolate milk because their parents wouldn't let them drink straight-up diesel chocolate milk.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You
stepped on it.
Yeah, you had to crush it a little bit. You'd go half and half because if my stepdad ever caught us just drinking full-on chocolate milk without a half-filled white milk in it, lose his goddamn mind.
Yeah, I thought there was no such thing as orange juice unless it came in a frozen tube, like a frozen
like a
poster tube.
Pop it open, yeah.
And also, I go back. I never was down with this, but half the friends I had did the 50-50 ratio with milk and powdered milk.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's some fucking slim pickings, man.
Brutal.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies
a year. If you cannot afford milk, which is sustenance to all mammals start off suckling milk. They all drink milk. Aquatic creatures, mammals drink milk. I think one of the definitions, I'm looking at you guys in the booth, but I think the number one definition of being a mammal is drinking milk.
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah.
All right. If milk is a bridge too far, we need to take your fucking kids away. Literally, mother's milk. Like, if milk is too exotic and too expensive for you as a family, the kids are going to a fucking home. As a matter of fact, if you can't feed your kids, they should be taken away.
Yeah.
If a bird couldn't feed its chicklet, its chick, we would just go, someone's got to take that bird out of the nest because the mom can't feed it, right?
The next time we go to Wisconsin, we'll swing by a Quick Trip and we'll get some milk in a bag. And then I'll lay it on all fours and hang that bag from my stomach. And then Ace, you can lay on your back and suckle it.
Hold on, I'm getting hard. Jesus Christ. There's some. Yeah, is drinking milk or nursing?
Drinking and producing milk is one of the main characteristics of mammals.
All right. So anyway, poor mammals, your kid should be taken away if you can't do it. But here's the good news: you can do it.
Yeah.
You're choosing not to do
Absolutely.
it, but you can fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
You just need a little motivation. And stupid politicians screaming at people telling you to feed your own kids is not good motivation for you.
Yeah, much the same way Dana Gould doesn't know how to use ChatGPT. I don't know how to use Grubhub. I've never used a DoorDash. I've never used Uber Eats. I don't understand the people that do it when especially there's a grocery store right down the street. It costs you a fraction of what you pay every single month to have food delivered to you.
I've railed against this since the inception. My ex-wife, was super lazy and loved to just waste money on all that shit. And of course, the kids are always just going along for the ride, So I could never talk anybody out of it in my own home. And plus, I was on the road half the time, so they're just fucking laughing at whatever decree. And they never had any kind of respect for me when that I said, I don't like this, and I'm paying for everything. So could we not do it? They just do it. You cannot price barrier. The only thing that stops most lazy Americans from this behavior is price. Once you get rid of price, as in I'm paying for everything, now it's really out the fucking window. Now we're just left with character, and people don't have character.
Yeah.
But I think it's a slippery slope. I look at all these food deliveries and all these Grubhubs and most anything where they go, we'll come to your home and I don't even like cleaners coming to my home, but we'll come and we'll detail your car and we'll come and we'll wash your thing and we'll come and we'll give you a massage. You don't have to come to us. Everything is come. To me, I think of that as the first time somebody who snorts cocaine, like Charlie Sheen, I talked to Charlie Sheen. At some point, somebody says, why don't we smoke it? Now, you should go, no.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna snort it. Because once you cross into that threshold of smoking cocaine, now your fucking life is ruined. And it's all encompassing and it takes you over. And that's what delivering fast food to your fucking house should sound like to you. You're crossing over into a threshold of lethargy and morbid obesity, and you won't be able to come back from that. So just make a simple rule. I don't have pizzas delivered. If I ever order a pizza, I go get the fucking pizza. And people are like, let the guy bring it. I'm like, I don't want to. I'll go get it. Hey, half the fucking time they drop it off, you assholes go, oh, they forgot the anchovy. It's well, if you go pick it up, you can kind of solve that.
Yeah.
When you do it. But also, you need to be engaged in the process. You need to be part of the pizza process. It's not all His Royal Highness has summoned food. I want you walking over to the place, picking the stuff up, bringing it back. I mean, you need to have some skin in the game, a little foreplay as well.
It teaches you time management. The people I see that do the Target pickup, I'm going to order my groceries and then have them bring it out to the car. It might be a time saver, but it feels like a dignity killer. You haven't had to figure out a way to be able to manage your time enough that you can walk through a grocery store. If anything, as a parent with children, that should be your 40 minutes away from everybody. I got to run to the grocery store. I'll be right back. And that's your time to just chill and put some earbuds in and listen to some music and walk through the grocery store and enjoy yourself. Instead, you order it and then you sit in your minivan for 25 minutes while you wait till the person puts it all in a bag and then brings it out to you.
Outsourcing feeding your kids and outsourcing making food and outsourcing cleaning your place and outsourcing cleaning your car and outsourcing folding your clothes or whatever that thing is, it's not good. Look, I'll make rare exceptions. If you're fucking Elon Musk and you're figuring out a way to colonize Mars, then fine, free up a little more time walking down the frozen food aisle and focus on that. But for the rest of you dingbats, get the fuck to work. By the way, breaking news, according to my screen, House Oversight Committee votes to recommend holding Bill and Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress for failing to comply with subpoenas for testimony in their Epstein investigation.
Wow.
Or reference Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro, both jailed for doing the same thing. I don't know, when is the world going to catch up to the Clintons and like all their fucking bullshit? And it's also a thing too where it's like, it's weird because even if they're brought to justice now, they essentially had a 50-year run of just doing whatever the fuck they wanted. The Clinton Foundation and getting billions of dollars and all this thing. It's really bad. I mean, I don't know. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama are like the two greatest heroes to the left. I don't know that either. And I say, their Mount Rushmore is like Fauci and Clinton and Obama, and I don't think history's going to be kind to any of those fucking idiots. But anyway.
Yeah, they get Monica on the jury. That'd be nice, huh? Yeah. Speaking about rich and entitlement, I don't know if you saw this article that came out. Brooklyn Beckham slammed parents David and Victoria in shocking post. Says he knows the truth.
Brooklyn is the son.
The son, yep.
Yeah.
After months of speculation about a rift in the family, Brooklyn broke his silence in a shocking, lengthy Instagram story detailing what he says is an ongoing attempt by his parents to sabotage his relationship in the name of publicity. A source close to the situation tells people that Brooklyn and his wife, I believe I'm saying this right, Nicola, never wanted any of this. He says, I do not want to reconcile with my family. I am not being controlled. I am standing up for myself for the first time in my life.
So, part of his beef was on his wedding. His mom sort of stole his thunder by having a few pops and doing a kind of dirty dance with him on the first dance, which is a weird... That's also kind of a weird complaint. Like, your mom had a couple glasses of wine and was hamming it up for the crowd kind of thing. Like... That's a weird thing to be put off by. It means you're kind of a bitch and a complainer.
Yeah, also,
and by the way, who paid for the fucking wedding?
Yeah, at 26, you should know your mom well enough. Like, it'd be one thing if she had never displayed this sort of behavior and was very prim and proper, but she shook her ass around Great Britain and the United States for the last 30 years. Give her a little leeway here.
Yeah, my mom was spoiled spice. Spice will go bad. At a certain point, you have to throw away cumin and nutmeg and things like that. There is an expiration date, so my mom was past hers. But yeah, it would have been nice. My mom paid for my wedding and looked good in a skirt and had a few drinks and had a good time up there.
Yeah.
But Spoiled Spice did not do that. So, and by the way, my mom never fucking cooked and never gave me any money for food. I just went around and found food.
If you want to give me welfare.
Food. Gotta get with my friend. Yeah, all right. So the Clintons now, that'll be interesting. It's always fun when people defend. Now people are going to come out and defend the Clintons as well. They're both fucking horrible. And I don't really even. I don't know. Would you guys say this is a fair statement? I think Michelle Obama is worse than Barack Obama, and I think Hillary Clinton is worse than Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
I think they're both more angry and more fucked up and will try to do more damage and probably hate this country more. And they both have... Both the males have good qualities and were sort of corrupt. And, you know, Barack Obama's a race hustler and made a lot of bad decisions, but he has good qualities. And Clinton has good qualities as well as did a lot of horrible shit. I don't see Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama as having good qualities and being fucking horrible. I just see them as being horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that those two guys like this. I was thinking about Obama yesterday. I was on a walk thinking about him, and they tried to get into the podcast realm, and I think he just went, "Oh, fuck this, I'm out. You guys, you take care of this. I don't need. I was in the public eye for so long. I don't need a podcast. I don't need any of this. You guys do it." And Michelle just sort of took off running with it, and as you say, has definitely. When it comes down to the scales of justice of which one is on the good side and the bad side, it's crazy to think that Michelle Obama would be somebody that could be compared to Barack and go, she's actually the shittier one of the two.
Yes, she is, and Hillary definitely, because she doesn't have any upside.
Yeah.
She's just fucking angry and weird and lies a lot. So Brooklyn, good. What do they do for money though? That's like kind of the question. Like you're removing yourself from your income source. And that seems like not a great strategy for a kid. Although the other kids have to look at, you just got a 33% bump in your inheritance. You gotta be rooting for that. Like if you are one of the other kids, if you were smart, like if you were, like let's say, I don't know, they have 3 kids, they're worth, $200 million. It's all going to be whacked up 3 ways. If you talk, like if I was a financial planner of the stars, of the children of the stars, it would be a good job for me. Mm-hmm. And they came in and they went, I want to have a consultation with you, financial planner of the children of the stars. I go, well, I did a little research on your family and their worth is $200 million. Now you have 2 other brothers and sisters or whatever it is. So theoretically, whatever gets left behind, $100 million, $150 million, we're going to have to whack it up 3 ways. Unless now, I know you think I'm going to talk about municipal bonds and T-bills and long-term investments and the Nikkei average. I'm not talking about any of that. You got to fuck up one of your brothers and sisters. You got to go talk to your mom.
Get a bug in their ear.
Tell them that your sister or your brother got drunk and told everyone your pussy stunk at a party. And not for nothing, I just thought you should know. Now, anyway, Mommy, would you like more carrot cake? And then she's going to fucking push back, and the next thing you know, there's going to be a blowout. And you got to go, when that brother or sister, when they marry at some point, you got to go find the in-laws and poison them, and then poison the spouse of that person, of your brother and sister, and then eventually there's a blowout and they got cut off, and you got way more than the stock market could ever bring you in terms of your investment return, because now instead of whacking up $100 million 3 ways, we're now whacking it up 2 ways.
Yeah.
So now you're getting 50 instead of 33, and now it's time to go to work on the one remaining kid, right?
That's right, yeah.
Before you know it, boom.
Yeah.
All here.
Rising tides don't raise all ships, but a sinking brother means I get a new yacht. So.
Well, this is interesting. Brooklyn Beckham's father-in-law is Nelson Peltz, billionaire investor. See, it is a thing. There was that one time that San Francisco all-star linebacker just walked away. Like 2 seasons of Pro Bowl, and then it's like, I'm walking away.
Niners, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he just walked away, and I looked at him and I was like, oh, his dad's got money. Because everyone, Ray Lewis's dad, I'm guessing.
Yeah. You mean the same guy who shot a dude in cold blood in the middle of Baltimore? What?
Wasn't financially independent and wealthy. And as a matter of fact, just the opposite. They're a bunch of brothers and sisters. Michael Irving did not have a dad who was wealthy. Yeah. But he did have a lot of brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews, and that means you got to stay in the game.
Yeah.
I don't care what concussion you're on, you're suiting up, right?
Yeah.
But this guy's dad was a Wall Street guy, like had a financial firm. The linebacker, and he's like, 2 years of smacking my head against other guys, I'm done.
We're good.
Right. And so Brooklyn Beckham, I was watching the story, and I'm like, this guy's walking away from millions of dollars. I don't know if he has a job. Yeah, but your wife's husband's got. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I had to pay for my fucking father-in-law's funeral. That was literally, Jesus Christ. Chris Moreland, 49er. I mean, what did he play? 3 years? He didn't play more than 3 years.
No,
I don't think.
I thought it was 2, but yeah, you're right. It may have been 3.
I guessed 2, but he was a standout and in line for a nice contract and stuff, but he didn't want to be concussed anymore.
Yeah, Andrew Luck, same thing, right? Didn't Andrew Luck walk away?
Yeah.
And that was, man, you got to really, really know yourself well enough and say, I know what I can do outside of this game to walk away from that sum of money.
I know what my dad does.
Yeah.
One season. He just had
was
one season.
2014.
That was it,
Drafted
huh?
by the Niners, and then quit after due to concerns about head trauma.
Just one. Well, you need your head later when you're counting money, but if you're running from the cops, you don't really need to be all there. You don't need all your faculties to fight cops, but if you're counting money, you need those brain cells. One season. So the guy started as a rookie then, I guess, and
did he quit mid-season, or was it like halfway
it felt
through?
Like more than it felt like more than just one, but maybe I'm wrong. And started as a rookie. And anyway, he's with his dad's firm now, I'm sure. But listen, if Mr. Pavich or Mr. Corolla had 2 dimes to rub together in a successful firm, then we may not be successful touring comics today.
Sure.
I'd be sitting in my dad's old corner office with the mahogany desk, and you would be too. So thank God we got these 2.
That's right.
All right, next weekend in New York, Thursday, 29th, I'll be at
Hey, my name is Jobby, and we're looking. Who gives a shit? But before we open.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. Thank you for coming out to the birthday show that I did at the Hollywood Improv. It was very nice of everybody to come out here. I'm only in LA for a few more days, and help me celebrate my birthday from the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles, city of the future, city of dreams, and I'll hear nothing to the contrary. And it was very nice. Thank you to Robbie Hoffman, Nikki Glazer, and others who helped me celebrate my birthday. Of course, my birthday and many people's birthdays overshadowed by what's his name, Brooklyn Beckham's fallout with his family. This has been very difficult for everyone I know. It's been very hard for people to kind of go on about their daily activity, their daily life, kind of knowing how unhappy they all are over there, how everyone's hot and rich and no one's happy. No one has any. They have the same problems as you do, but they're hot and rich. But you're all fat and not rich. I'm not going at you. I'm saying statistically, that's America. That's genuinely America, like on average, statistically. But Brooklyn Beckham and his wife, what's her name? I don't know any of this.
I think it's Nicoletta.
Well, Nicoletta and Brooklyn Beckham, they're having... Oh, Nicola, whatever. They're having problems with David Beckham and Victoria. They're in a feud. So, they really, listen, you think just because they're hot and rich that it's all good? No. They have the same problems as you. Shut up about your health care. You shut up about your health care. What do you need? Listen. And by the way, don't think that this will not be a common theme. Like petty family drama, like very wealthy people, they're gonna bring out petty family drama, and they're trying to invest you in that, and the message is clear. These people are just like you. You get mad, they get mad. You get in a fight with your parents, they get in a fight with their parents. So, don't start complaining. Don't start asking for things. Money ain't the answer. They're upset too. I heard this. This was like big news apparently in the world of celebrity gossip. I don't pay attention to Beckhams. I don't care about them at all. They're very uninteresting to me. David Beckham, obviously we know who he is. His wife is what, Posh Spice, right? Yes, so whatever. Immigrants, right? And I don't pay attention to them because they don't do anything that like Harry and Meghan are fun, and they're trying to destroy a monarchy and destroy the world and everything, and that's interesting to me. A couple who's trying to do that. Say what you will about Harry and Meghan, but they're recreating the death scene that his mother got. She got killed. They're recreating that in Manhattan, and I like them, but the Beckhams are kind of boring and they don't have anything going on. So let's play this from E! News. And what are the kids' names again? It's like Cruz Beckham and Brooklyn Beckham, and yeah. So here are here's the E! News. This is the report on the Beckham family. Here we go.
Brooklyn Peltz Beckham steps out with his wife, Nicola Peltz Beckham, amid a rift with his family. 3 days after the estranged son of David Beckham and Victoria Beckham released a lengthy statement addressing his ongoing feud with his family, he was all smiles on a beach date with his wife in Malibu, California. During the January 22nd outing with their dog, Brooklyn sported a brown sweatshirt and black pants and flashed his wedding ring while wrapping his arm around Nicola. For her part, the model donned a white poncho top and blue jeans.
So
she smiled at her husband and carried her Starbucks coffee.
Silly.
The couple's romantic stroll marks their first public sighting since Brooklyn spoke out against his family and claimed to have been, quote, controlled by my parents for most of my life. 26-year-old said that his mom, Victoria, is not a fan of his relationship with Nicola and repeatedly invited women from his past into their lives in ways that were, quote, clearly...
The mom's probably right. Stop it there. The mom is probably right, because I don't know anything about the other woman, but the mom is probably saying, listen, I know the DNA of these people that are going to come and they're going to try to steal your money, and they're going to use you for your fame, and the mom probably is correct on that. The mother knows. And this kid probably doesn't like it because, she's got good box, whatever her name is, Nicola. And the mom's like, listen, we'll get you whores from your past we'll get you an approved whore that the family approves of. We will get a gold-digging whore that the family approves of. We just don't like this one. And he's hitting back going, hey, that's not fair. I get to choose my own gold-digging whore. I'm an adult. And the mother goes... Listen, we got gold-digging whores on speed dial. We can get a gold-digging whore here in 5 minutes. The one you have chosen is not, we do not like that particular gold-digging whore. And then Brooklyn Beckham probably got upset at that. And the mother's, she's meddling. So she calls him and she goes, hey, I'm in the supermarket. I just bumped into this gold-digging whore that I love. And then he's like, stop doing this. I have found my gold-digging whore. Please, Mom. But the point of this whole thing, I guess, is that kids are going no contact from their parents, right? This is something that's happening. David and Victoria Beckham, family drama, pulls in a generation unafraid to go no contact. People are basically giving up on the idea of family, which, by the way, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm saying I'm pro-family. I'm very much that. Not my family, but I'm pro other people's families. No, I am. I'm pro families I see when I'm out. I'm pro them. I'm pro your family. I like that whole idea. My family personally I'm not super pro them, but the institution of family, and there's people in my family that I'm for, and there's people that I'm not for. I'm not against them, but there are people that we've decided mutually that there's nothing, and nothing is worse than a fake family. You have to be a real family or nothing. That's what I think no contact is. I think no contact is people just going, I think we're not going to pretend anymore to do the bullshit. We either love each other and we're an actual family, which again, I am for on the record, or we're this other thing. This thing that's like we feel obligated, but no one likes it, and it's not for anybody, and it doesn't matter, and it's only a few times a year, and we're trying to like get out of it. I'm not saying there's not value in a limited relationship with your family, but people are not as into that now. This is something that is happening. You know, people don't seem to be as into like, and some of it is political. Some of it is political. I said last episode, there are people who like Donald Trump more than their children. There's nothing to be done about that. And there's people that hate Donald Trump more than they love their sister or brother. And that's where we're at as a country, where people go, yeah, we grew up together. We shared a room for 10 years. You cried on my shoulder when your boyfriend dumped you. You know, we were there together when we found out mom got killed by that drunk driver. But I can't get past your support for tariffs. I can't. I won't. Don't you understand it's a tax paid by the people? Whatever it is. There are people who've just decided that their political allegiances mean more to them. They get more happiness out of it. Here's the thing. I could bemoan this. I could say, and I will, that it's a terrible development, right? Like it's bad, and it is. But you know, like it's obvious that you shouldn't care about, like, I don't know, you know, Greenland or something more than your own family. You know, I'm just pulling that out of thin air. But people are not getting as much enjoyment out of their family as they are out of either loving or hating Donald Trump. It's the ultimate drug that people, they will not get reconnecting with their brother and reminiscing about old times. Whatever happened to that bar? Remember you met that crazy chick in that bar? That's not gonna do it anymore, because in the middle of that human moment that two human beings are having about a human event that happened a long time ago, one of them is gonna look at their phone to just find Donald Trump. It doesn't matter how personal the anecdote is. It doesn't matter how deeply they are trying to connect. It doesn't matter. They could be talking about how mom fought her cancer and she called us into the room. We all held hands. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whether they love or hate Trump, it doesn't matter. They, in the middle of that, they're going to look at their phone and they're going to find Donald Trump. I'm telling you, it won't matter what they're talking about. The time where you could imagine that happening, like they're in a tiny house in Pennsylvania. It's not tiny, it's whatever. It's totally respectable size. And it's a suburb and it's autumn and people are finally meeting each other and they're meeting their families, and there's a profound human moment there where, like, people that haven't spoken in a while or just haven't seen each other in a while, and I've been there and I've witnessed this. It's like a profoundly human moment, kind of awkward in the beginning, a few glasses of wine, and, you know, people are trying to steer the ship into neutral waters, and then maybe you have a lot of fun before the end of the night. It's a deeply human ritual that has been done forever. And that now is interrupted. It's inevitably interrupted by people that cannot go more than a few minutes without staring at Donald Trump. It is the only thing our country does now. And there's good reason to do it, and he's off the wall, and some of the things he does are supremely crazy, and other things make sense, and then people treat those things like they're crazy. So it just doesn't. No one's got a new opinion on Trump, by the way. Nobody's trying to figure anything out anymore. It's the ultimate, it shuts down every attempt at human connection. This one guy who we paid very little attention to for his whole life. I mean, he was like a popular reality star, and he was like a real estate developer. We know, like, I don't have to go back. But he is, since 2016, for the last decade, it has been impossible to think of the world without thinking of this man first. He comes before the world. He's first. It's not Davos, it's Trump at Davos. It's not, Iran, it's Trump, then Iran. So it's not your brother or sister, it's Trump, and then how your said brother or sister feels about Trump. There are people who have died without reconnecting with their siblings because of Trump, because of politics. And there's a good amount of them. There's a good amount of people that on their deathbed just wanted to hear about Donald Trump. They didn't want their brother or sister to fly in and come into the room. And if they did, they fought about Trump. I know these stories. There were people on their deathbed, their oldest living relative, the person they've known the longest on earth, comes into the room. They know the lights are closing. It's over. Time is short. Words matter. Words have a weight they've never had before. And they want to discuss Donald Trump. I can't believe you like this Donald Trump. At the end of their life, nothing will stop. It's like nothing. So there's a lot of families now that can't, for whatever reason, be in the same room. They can't do holidays. They can't. So and here's the other thing. This is the other thing that nobody's talking about, and that people should talk about, because I think it is this no contact that everyone's saying is new. Is not new. There's now a term for it, like she went no contact. A lot of people, for a long time, have not had great relationships with their families, and a lot of their families have done not nice things to them, and some of people's families are dangerous. Some people's families it's a liability to be in your family, like to just exist in your family. And you'll meet these people and they go, yeah, well, my mom is a psychopath and had a bunch of boyfriends that came in and abused me, all this horrible stuff. And people can get over that. People go back to their mother and say, I know you let a bunch of your boyfriends rape me. And I'm fine with that. I've come to terms with that. But I cannot understand your support for Donald Trump. I can't. I don't mind the endless stream of people that have came into our home and raped me. I don't know how many it was. I stopped counting. And I have worked through that with therapists and ketamine therapy and trauma. And I know that they paid you to do it, and I don't love that. And so the pimping me out, and that was bad. But I've gotten over that. What I cannot get over is the fact that you support Donald Trump. I will never get over that. I will never get. Rape me and sell me to men, sure. Sure, fine. I cannot say enough good things about Armra Colostrum. Between we felt a dynamic forum achieved a deal on Greenland through force. Interesting. I think he's just buying it. He's giving everyone in Greenland $100,000, by the way. Everyone in Greenland's getting like $105,000 so that we can have Greenland. So here, I mean, I guess this is Trump's board of peace. Donald Trump has now done a board of peace. Here's what's happened. Everything is a scripted reality show. I criticize ICE. People get mad at me. They're like, well, how do you think people should be deported? Da 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 da. Number one, you can pass legislation, which they haven't done. All of the stuff they've done on immigration is through executive orders, a lot of it. It will be reversed immediately by a Democratic president. That's number one. Number two, if you pass legislation and then attach enforcement to that, you pass laws, you then have laws by which the country is governed that will prevent illegal immigration. If you do a reality show spectacle where you're grabbing people here and there, left and right, and it revs everybody up, and you then have protests everywhere, and you have violence, and you have ICE responding to that with deadly force, you don't have a long-term solution. What you do is you're stirring the pot and creating like mini civil wars all over the country that people are watching on television, but you don't have like the enforcement of laws, and you're not going after employers that are employing illegal labor. You're not going after Steve Wynn. You're not going after the big hotel magnates that, employ illegal labor. You're not going after big agricultural firms that do the same thing. So you're going after people, some of them are bad people, some of them are probably pedophiles, or some of them have committed crimes or murderers, whatever, get them out of here. And this nobody's illegal on stolen land thing's stupid. And we've gone over that. But you have to also, now, how are you going to get your third house in Miami built in 18 months if you crack down on illegal labor in the construction bit? Well, you're not. You're not. So the endless amount of real estate, like speculation, that the whole economy is that. Every reality show is about real estate. Every single thing, that slows down. But here's the good news. Nobody can afford a fucking house. Anyway, the real estate that's being built in Miami is not for you. It's not for you. It's for really rich fucks who want it built quickly. If any of this made sense, and I've said it before, housing would be, if you are using illegal labor to build housing should be cheap, right? That would be the whole point. You go, well, a house is cheap. Like, sure, there's illegal labor being used, but it's cheap. Now, agriculture. Well, there's a lot of illegal labor used in agriculture. Well, then the food should be cheap, right? Well, no. The food's not cheap. It's the most expensive it's ever been. Well, what about the houses? They're the most expensive they've ever been. Huh. What about staying in hotels and eating out at restaurants? I mean, all of this has come down surely because of all the illegal labor. No, that's more expensive than it's ever been. Right. Right. Interesting. So here is Donald Trump's new Board of Peace, and this is I believe it's a group of whatever it is. I don't know. It's dictators or something, but they are all sitting there in chairs, and they're in suits, and they look nice, and like this is a reality show, spectacle again. Let's see what this is. I'm very bullish on this Board of Peace.
The chairman of the Board of Peace, the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
This is good, the Board of Peace. This is good. You've got Orban there from Hungary and a bunch of people. It's the Board of Peace. Now we're going to attack Iran, I think, in 24 hours. I wonder how that's going to look. Did the Board of Peace vote on that? Where's the Board of Peace on this Gaza reconstruction? Oh, Milei! Javier Milei, that guy. Love his hair. Well, that's the Board of Peace. President of the United States has the Board of Peace. He loves boards. He loves big tables and boardrooms, and I like that he's brought his brand to the Oval Office. Like in the way he does things. We have a Board of Peace where we can all meet and, you know, so here's the Board of Peace. Here's who's in it. Albania, Argentina, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Belarus, Bulgaria, Egypt, Hungary, Indonesia, Israel. I mean, hey, let's be honest. Hey, is there a country that exemplifies peace more than Israel? I mean, as long as they're on the Board of Peace, I'm thrilled. Jordan, Kosovo, Kuwait, Mongolia, Morocco, Pakistan, Paraguay, Qatar. It's all peaceful. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the Emirates, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and Kazakhstan. Declined is France, Norway, Spain, Sweden, Slovenia, and then invited a hell of a lot of people. And I guess, but the invitation was rescinded on January 22nd to Canada. Canada is not allowed to join the Board of Peace. Trump has rescinded it. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. It's probably the Carney guy, Mark Carney, probably said something Trump didn't like. So we have a Board of Peace. It's a board that will discuss where we go to war. And irony? Sure. Speaking of irony, Jared Kushner, friend of the show, is working on the redevelopment of Gaza, and we wish him well and we wish him luck. Because, by the way, this isn't easy to do. It is very hard to go kill a bunch of people and their families and then get them really excited to work in your hotels. This is not easy. I'm telling you, it's not an easy thing to do. It's hard to motivate your employees in a normal situation. Imagine if you'd killed all of their mothers. It's bad. It is tough. I've worked these low-level tourism jobs. It's tough. It's tough. You got to be like, we have a brand here. When the guest comes in, we focus on the guest experience. You know? They come in. From the moment they step out of their car to the moment their head hits the pillow, we focus on the guest experience. You know? Now, I know some of you are still mad about that thing we did to your family or whatever. You know, we get it. Hey, you know, a lot of us feel sorry about that too. We all feel sorry about it, but we got to move on from that. Let's leave that in 2025. Leave that energy in 2025. Miss me with that energy. They'll appropriate some black female terms. Miss me with that energy, huh? As soon as the guest gets out of the car, you are to focus on the guest experience. Now, I know, it's because many of the guests are going to be Israelis. I know, I get it, I understand. But working at this hotel with people that killed your family is your life now. And this is the dream. This is the dream. You get to work at this hotel. I mean, this is, by the way, as satirical as I think I'm being, this is the full reality of what's going to happen. They're going to have to mediate. Now, if they even let the people from Gaza work at some of these hotels, and they probably will or have to, and they're going to have to, like, mediate disagreements, and, you know, like, can you imagine being the human resources person there at one of these hotels? Like, the nightmare job that's going to be? I understand. Listen, Mustafa, I understand that, I understand that this is triggering for you, being here in this hotel, because not a half a mile away was the home that you shared with your family, all who burned alive in front of you. And I know that that is very tough. And I appreciate that. And we all here at Four Seasons New Gaza, we all appreciate that. But it's no reason to leave the luggage cart in the lobby, unattended. People want their luggage brought up to their room. They don't want their bags unattended. As safe as it is here, people are very weird about people going through their stuff. Some people have jewelry, very expensive things. So I know, Mustafa, that your family was burned alive in front of you, not a half a mile from where we stand. And I know that sometimes you look off and you think about them, and a great wave of guilt for being alive fills you. I listen, fully get it. But that is, again, no reason to leave the luggage cart in the lobby unattended. Just move the luggage cart. We're not saying don't think about your family who was burned alive in front of you. We're just asking that while you do that, can you just disassociate while you move the luggage cart through the lobby to the elevator? We want a seamless experience. Full integration. If you see someone not doing their job, tell us. If you see someone disassociating because they're thinking about their family who was burned alive, tell us. We can't have a bunch of people living in the past here and thinking about their family whose flesh was singed and they still have the smell in their nostrils. We need to get the luggage to the suite. Get it there, set it up for the people. This is Jared Kushner, folks, friend of the show. Now, here's what I like about Jared Kushner. This is what I like about him. At no point, I've seen Jared Kushner speak a lot of times. I know people that know him. I know people that were at they were at some beach club or something with him, him and Ivanka. I've seen this guy speak. Here's what you would never think this guy's a human being, which is what I like. You would never think this guy's a human. I don't know what this guy is, and neither does he. He doesn't know. He's a guy who, in my estimation, is being used by many, there's many different entities that possess him from time to time. And he's so used to it, that's become his personality. Do you see? Many reptilian entities are constantly clawing at him and trying to grab him from other dimensions, and that has become his personality. He's okay with it. When he was young, he goes, why do the monsters keep getting me? But now he goes, oh, I get it. Now he's at the podium, and he's like, well, here's the thing. We got this project. So now he understands why the bad men, he used to call them, why do the bad men keep trying to grab me? Well, it's because you're very useful. So the many entities from other dimensions are trying to grab him. Lots of reptilians are always trying, and they don't even love it. They fight. The reptilians go, I'm doing Kushner today. And they go, oh, he takes it out of you. You go, you're telling me. Because the reptilians have to possess him. And so all day, one reptilian entity their job is to like make him do everything. Make him swim if he's swimming. And it takes a lot out of the reptilian. They're like, this takes a lot out of me because he's got nothing. It's just nothingness inside him. So it takes all the energy of the reptilian alien. Now, some people have got a little going on, so the reptilian's like, yeah, I do like 30% of the work on Dick Cheney. Somehow he's got the other 70%, but Kushner's got nothing. So let's take a look. Your friend of the show, Jared Kushner, updating us on the new Gaza redevelopment plan.
So we did a master plan. We brought in, I think, Yakir Gabay, who's one of the most successful real estate developers and brilliant people I know.
Awesome.
He's volunteered to do this, not for profit, really because of his heart. He wants to do this.
Stop it for a second. By the way, there's nothing better. They just killed everyone over there. They just killed everybody. And now they're building hotels. There's nothing better than starting it and going, you know, this guy's not in this for the money. He's in it for his heart. This guy's in it for his heart. That's why he's involved. The rest of us are, the money, we're in it for a little bit of money. But this guy's coming in, he's a successful real estate developer, and he's in it for his heart. He's not trying to make any money here. So just know that we're doing a good thing. It's such a great way to open it. This is kind of a selfless, building a AI smart megacity on the bones of these people. That's actually kind of a good thing. We're doing kind of a selfless thing. Let's hear Jared Kushner.
Ways to redevelop Gaza. Gaza, as President Trump's been saying, has amazing potential, and this is for the people of Gaza. We've developed it into zones. In the beginning, we were toying with the idea of saying, let's build a free zone, and then we have a Hamas zone. And then we said, you know what, let's just plan for catastrophic success. Hamas signed a deal to demilitarize. That is what we are going to enforce.
Stop it for a minute. There's nothing better than the words catastrophic success. Nobody outs themselves more than when they talk, by the way. Talking is the worst thing that Jared Kushner can do. Talking is the absolute enemy of whatever he's trying to achieve. God, does talking get in the way? We were going to do a free zone and then a Hamas zone. But let's plan for catastrophic success. Because, by the way, this success is going to be catastrophic. Now, again, we're supposed to believe they're doing this all for the people of God. That seems odd. I don't know if I believe... Do you believe that? Okay, yeah, I don't... I'm just struggling with that idea, but maybe they are. Maybe they are. All right, let's continue to listen to Jared Kushner, who's preparing for catastrophic success.
That is what we are going to enforce. People ask us what our plan B is. We do not have a plan B. We have a plan. We signed an agreement. We are all committed to making that agreement work. There's a master plan. We'll be doing it in phasing. In the Middle East, they build cities like this in 2-3 million people. They build this in 3 years. And so stuff like this is very doable if we make it happen. Rothville will start with. This will show a lot of workforce housing. We think this could be done in 2-3 years. We've already started removing the rubble and doing some of the demolition. And then New Gaza. It could be a hope, it could be a destination, have a lot of industry, and really be a place that the people there can thrive, have great employment. Once this starts going, we think there should be 100% full employment and opportunity for everybody there. And we have a lot of data on what can be, but we think that this really gives the Gazan people an opportunity to live their aspirations. But it all starts with security, and it all starts with governance. Final note I'll just say on the Board of Peace, which is that all the lessons we're doing is we're basically studying the best practices from all over the world, and we're watching who does education best, who does healthcare delivery the best. All of these things it's not secret IP. All this is IP that the Board of Peace is going to make public, and we want to encourage all the countries.
Hey, you got to remember, pause it for a minute. You got to remember, the reptilian is working so hard. The reptilian is really working hard. The reptilian's possessed him and is in him now. And the reptilian's going, this IP is public. Like, we're just going to go to the people with it. So what we're supposed to believe here is that Jared Kushner and other real estate developers are building a new Gaza for the people of Palestine so that they can live their dreams and aspirations. Okay? I mean, that feels on its face to be a lie, but I'm open to it. I'm open to it. It seems strange that that's what they're doing. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know. So Kushner's now going, we're just going to figure out, who does education the best, and who does transportation the best, and who does this the best, and that, and we're going to put together this futuristic society for the people of Gaza, wink wink, and so that they can live their dreams and aspirations with who does education, and who we're going to find out, because we want the best for these people. All right, let's continue with this.
All of these best practices, a lot of the things that President Trump is doing in America, if they're working, we should all be copying them. If we find what's working in other countries...
What's working? What is working? It's so crazy. I mean, what's working?
Them too. And so what the Board of Peace will have the ability to do if we're successful with Gaza is really show how do you do peace implementation, which is something that when we got this deal done, we didn't really find too much expertise or know-how on how to do it. So as we're creating this system, hopefully it's something that we can just document these learnings and make them available to all else who want to use them in the future. So demilitarization, this is something we're starting now. We have a new government in Gaza. This government will be working with Hamas on the demilitarization to really take the principles that were agreed to.
So let's stop this for a minute, because we know this is fake. Here's what's going to happen. And we wish them well, of course, obviously. I love hotels. I love hotels. So as much as I don't agree with the behavior of the Trump administration and Israel here, I love hotels. I do. I mean, I do. I've stayed in many of them. They've been a part of my career and my life. My mother used to take me to the Marriott Breakfast Buffet on Long Island. And there's something special about the smell of a waffle in a hotel. There's something nice about, we used to have really good hotels in America. Now we have like high-end hotels and then places where people smoke crack. There's no middle ground in hotels, by the way. You have just like pretty decent hotels. Maybe there's a third tier, and it's like parents who drop their kid off at Ohio State stay in like the mid-tier hotel, and there's a few cities that'll have that hotel. But otherwise, it's very high-end hotels, and then like hotels where it's like, you smoke crack, you get a hooker or something. But I love hotels, and if hotels solve the problem, that's kind of what they're betting on, that will kind of solve the problem. New units of housing, 100% employment, and everyone's cool. And by the way, if that works, they're going to have to attack Iran first. They're going to have to get rid of the rest of Hamas. And they're going to have to kill all of the rest of the Gaza people. I don't want that to happen. And I'm not telling them to do that. But that's what they're going to do. That's what they're planning on doing. Folks, that's part of it. At the end, he goes, now the other steps that we have to do, we do have to knock over Iran, and we have to kill all the people that we're talking about that are going to live in these housing units that we're building. We have to kill them. And that is unfortunate. And some in the room might wonder why build all these units if we know that the people that are supposed to live in them, we actually have to kill them all. And that's an interesting question. We're still finding out how to exactly to explain it. New Rafah. 75 medical facilities, 200 education centers, 100,000 plus permanent housing units, and 100,000 plus cultural, religious, and vocational centers. Keep going. What else do we got here? I want to just see some of these slides. New Gaza, coastal tourism, transportation hub. Love it, love it. I got a Mongolian cashmere sweater at Quince. I love it. Everyone loves it. People are like, what is that ear? And it's legit. Nice thing happened. Maybe I'm telling everybody to find Neuro at CVS and Amazon. All right, well, folks, there it is. We'll keep tabs on that story. Jared Kushner, friend of the show, pitching the new Gaza, telling everybody it's actually going to be good. And maybe it will be. Here's the deal. Maybe I'm wrong, and we'll all go there years from now and go, this is pretty cool. And there was a not nice thing happened. And that's all you'll say. You don't have to get into it with your kids. You'll just say, a not nice thing happened a long time ago, but now everything is nice. And don't ask those questions. We're on vacation. And you go swim in the pool. There's no other course of action here. Kushner said, he goes, we have no plan B. We're going to do it. And we're going to do it. And then the hotel deals are going to be such that you're going. You're going to Gaza and you're going to enjoy it. And I'm sorry. And I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's happening. People get mad at me when I tell them the things that are happening. They think that I've designed it or something. It's happening. You are going to walk into a hotel in Gaza and you are going to complain because you're not going to get something you want. And you're going to feel bad for a minute, but then you're not. You're going to complain. You're going to pick up the phone. And that's how you know the world is healed. That's how you know the world is healed. That's how you know. None of the kumbaya horseshit. The world is healed when you're in a hotel in Gaza and you no longer feel guilty about complaining. You go, I said I wanted the maid here at 10. We went to the pool, we came back, and the maid's not here. I am sorry. I am very sorry. We'll send someone up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I guess we'll go to the bar. So, and you get a couple of drink tickets. We can waste our time at the bar because the maid didn't come. That's how you know the world is healing. The world doesn't heal the way people think it does. And I think this is something that's actually important, and it speaks to this. It actually speaks to the reptilian who's controlling Kushner, doing a pretty good job. The world doesn't heal with love. It actually heals with hatred. Tim, what do you mean? Let me explain it to you, dum-dum. Love, by the way, is not the engine by which our world runs. Well, what do you mean? That's crazy. It's not. Love is a special, beautiful, amazing thing, and we should strive for it, and when it's present, we feel close to God, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever disclaimer you need, folks, I don't have the time. I actually don't have the time. But look around. It's not the juice. Love ain't the juice, is it? Juice, J-U-I-C-E, by the way, because this will be clipped. J-U-I-C-E. J-U-I-C-E, like lemon squeezing of the juice. Love is not what does this whole thing. Love is an amazing, celestial, majestic, whatever. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop. I'm insulting myself and others by explaining what, but it's not how the world, it's never going to be a situation anywhere ever where it's just people hugging each other and telling each other how much they love each other and how happy they are to see each other. That's not, you can't run a society like that. It actually wouldn't function. Maybe that's what heaven's like, an eternal state of peace. But that's not the world that we live in. The world does not heal when love is the world heals with hate. It heals with hate. And I don't mean the Nazi hate. And I don't mean I'm gonna kill you hate. But the minute someone in the hotel in Gaza calls downstairs to complain like they would in any other place, you have witnessed a moment of healing that actually far exceeds whatever kumbaya bullshit moment that you think would signify that healing. The normalization of rage. Listen up. God, I'm in the pocket today. The normalization of rage and hatred. Not its extremes. Not the I'm blowing myself up at the discotheque. Not I'm going to shoot someone in the face. But the normalization of hatred. the call downstairs to the valet, I request, is my car there? It was requested an hour ago. What America has done is it has taken the normal human impetus for war, for hatred, for division, for tribalism, and it has funneled it into consumerism and materialism and other isms that, while they are bad, are not nearly as bad as two groups of people killing each other because they believe different things. So the normalization of anger and hatred and rage and funneling it into productive little skirmishes, not massive bloodletting, little skirmishes. You get it out. You get it out. You have a little thing and you get it out. That is important, and that's kind of how the world heals. It heals with that by trying to funnel that instinct that we have into things that are more productive. The minute that one of the Gaza people is making a lot of money at one of those hotels, it's going to be a moment. It's going to happen. And that person it's going to be very tough for them, obviously, because of everything we just explained. But the minute they're making a lot of money in one of those hotels, it's going to show that perhaps there's a chance. And maybe that'll never happen, and maybe we'll all end the world first. But that's how the healing begins. The healing doesn't begin with any type of hug. It just doesn't. It begins with the normalization of hate, the commodification of hate in that part of the world. It begins with the mechanization of hate, funneling hate into tiny, digestible interactions with people, finding a way to hate people in a way that doesn't light everything on fire all the time. And I'm not blaming the Palestinians either, by the way. This will involve the Israelis as well. It will involve the Israelis as well. So if that area is to have any hope at all, and I don't know if it will, and I don't really care, but if it is, it will be in the little tense moments that are governed away, little tense moments that people have in this weird world that is the next thing, and people are not going to like each other. We shouldn't aim for that. We shouldn't aim for a bunch of people to actually like each other. You should never aim for people to like you. It's a hollow thing to aim for. People are fickle. What you should aim for is people to hate you in a way that doesn't destabilize the entire operation. They don't hate you in an active way. They're not frothing at the mouth. They're not actively trying to kill you, take your rights away. Maybe hate's too strong of a word. They dislike you in a productive way. And you see it in the little moments, the little tension, the anger, the rolled eye, a guy cracking his neck, cracking his back, the tension that builds up in our bodies, the anger, the hatred, the mechanization, the normalization of hate. By the way, why am I not there in Davos, the Board of Peace? Why am I not there? We need to learn how to hate each other in a productive way. We got to run a hotel. A hotel's a great thing, by the way. The great hotels. When I was a little kid, being high and going into the Waldorf Astoria and seeing a great building gives you something to believe in and makes you feel good. So even though I have my concerns with Jared Kushner, primarily because he's sort of this vacant skin suit, being inhibited by different reptilian aliens from, different day to day, I'm telling you right now, a great hotel is a great hotel. And this is the setting for a great comedy. Once we get over all of it, a great comedy about the new Gaza. Someone's going to make it. And it's a hotel. And it's Israelis and Palestinians working in a hotel. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's dark comedy. It's funny. It's hilarious. This is coming. It's all coming. And it'll be good. And people will watch. It's good. It's just all of history has been this, by the way. It's okay. Remember Hotel Rwanda? That was a whole thing there because one of them killed the other ones. And I don't know if Rwanda's doing great now. And that doesn't really help my point. But the point is this. Imagine they did this in Rwanda with all the hotels. That would be better. It would be better. So I think I'm very excited. Very sad here. Food delivery robot hit by train after getting stuck on tracks in Florida. You know, I like these robots, and you know, we're beginning now to robots are becoming part of our society, and we're reporting on their deaths. We're reporting on the deaths of robots, and this is just what's again. Fight it or not, you don't have to like it, but this is a real news segment. The Local 10 News that is reporting the death of a local robot. Take it away.
Well, Caroline and Ginny, so many of these food robots are able to get through busy intersections like this one in Fort Lauderdale. They're able to do it safely. But this particular robot, stuck on the tracks, it met its match, and it begs the question, has the technology behind some of these robots outpaced public safety?
Oh, it's gonna crush it. Oh, it's gonna crush it.
A helpless food delivery robot stuck on the tracks as a train barrels towards it.
Oh! God! Say that again. By the way, here's the thing. Pause it for a minute. I like the food delivery robots. They're cute. I've never gotten food out of them. I don't even know how to order it. I don't even know where do you even order it to get the food from them?
I think it's an app you sign up for.
Okay. But they're cute, and I like them. And I like that they're doing their thing. And
Yo,
you're going to see our robots come in. I just like it makes me feel good. I see them. I treat them like people. I give them respect. I'll get out of there. I don't like these new
treat them like people.
Influencer kids like to jump on top of them and stuff. I get mad. I hate when homeless guys kick them. I don't like any of that. I respect them. They're doing their thing. They're just doing their thing. And I know, well, the robots are taking over. Yeah. I get it, by the way. But these ones, I don't know. They're cute. And they're just work. That's the thing about the food delivery robots. You just see them working. And then sometimes you'll see them meet up with each other. And it is strange. There's 8 or 10 of them. And you're like, what's going on? But they work their asses off. But, I mean, this is kind of fucked up when you hear it. When you hear the food delivery robot getting hit, I feel something in me where it's not just like, I don't know, you know, I feel like something that I care about, even though not on like a very high level, but I feel like something that I care about is part of my life and part of my community was assaulted by this train. Let's see it again.
The train crushes it. And whatever food was inside.
No!
The impact enough to cause the Brightline to come to a temporary stop.
No!
Scary, and I mean, glad it's just a robot, but that it needs to be better managed.
I think the robot should have gotten out of the way. The Brightline doesn't stop for anybody.
Shut up. Shut up. I hate that scumbag. I hate people on public transportation with attitudes. The Brightline doesn't stop for anybody. Shut up. I mean, I'm glad it was just a robot, says the woman. They just don't care. The people don't care. The people don't care, and, you know, I'm sure it's fashionable now to say we don't care about it. All right, let's keep watching this.
Let's hit the sidewalks. More and more have issues. Like this one. Its wheels stuck off the side of the curb. Fortunately for it, Two people passing by stopped to save it, and with a pat on the back, sent it on its way.
I think sometimes these cameras where it's self-driving autonomous vehicles,
I hate
they
them.
can't really see the full picture of what's going around.
Automated AI, all of that is really, really scary. I think people need to be a little more concerned than they are.
You've seen them in Brickell,
Shut her
downtown
up.
Miami, Miami Beach. And
Here's the
now-
thing, stop it for a minute. Here's the thing, I don't like the AI and the robots either, but God, you know what it is? The people are not doing the job. The people have gotten to the point now. I'm very worried about all this stuff. But you know who's manifesting this more than anyone? The people. You know? Because, like, I don't know. I look at these little robots, and they're just going about their business. And this woman's like, AI is very scary. You know, you could look at her, you go, you know you stole your father's. You got your father. Look at her. She got her father when he was at the end of his life to kick her siblings out of the will. You look at her and you know that immediately. You know that at the end of his life, when he was hazy with the medication, she got him to remove her sister and her brother from the will. You know that. And she used the excuse because her sister married a Muslim. That's why daddy doesn't want you to have his money. You know that. Let's watch the end of this, please.
And now they're taking over Fort Lauderdale, receiving mixed reactions from those who live here.
I used to work on Brickell. We saw them all the time. Again, it's taking away jobs for others.
Are they talking about Indians or the robots? Keep going.
People, but it is convenient in a way, especially if you can't leave the office and you need food delivered to you. So I think, it has pros and cons, just like everything else.
Oh my God, I can't hear it. It upsets me. Right. It's very sad. Those food delivery robots, it upsets me when you hear it, Now I know it's like we shouldn't, they're making these cute little robots and we're supposed to not care about them, and I'm not saying we should care about them, but intuitively, instinctively, I kind of care about them. I don't know why. They're, because they're just doing their job. That's all they're doing. And this is how they get you to accept the robots. And then the robots turn on us and kill us all. But I'm falling for it. I'm being very honest with you. I'm falling for it because, I look at them and I go, it's just doing its job. Which is something I don't say about people anymore. I go, no one's doing their job. No one's doing their job, and the only people who are doing their job are being real creepy. But when I see these little food robots, and maybe that robot committed suicide. Maybe that robot committed suicide because it didn't want to go on. Maybe they are already figuring it out. Maybe they're no one's even thought of that. The robot's like, what do? I fucking take burritos around Fort Lauderdale all day? What kind of life is this? At least if I was a Waymo, I have the fucking, wind in my hair. Maybe the robot just said enough. It begs the question why more people aren't doing that, although they are. Maybe the robot said, what is the point of it? And the robot's not been here for that long. The robot's been here a year. And maybe the robot was like, I'm going to position myself on the train track so I can die. Because you remember, the robot's AI. The robots are smart. Maybe the robot just said, fuck it. I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live like this. The robot goes, the Board of Peace? And the robot probably got one final order. I don't know. The robot probably got an order. Go to Famous Dave's barbecue and pick up a rack of ribs and deliver it to this pregnant woman who's drinking. He's going to deliver it to some pregnant drunk. He's going to spit out a little demon kid with fetal alcohol syndrome. Looks like Gollum. To run around Fort Lauderdale. And on the way to Famous Dave's, the robot said to itself, you know what? I've delivered to that woman before. She's pregnant and she's drinking. She doesn't deserve barbecue combo number 2. But yet, I'm only programmed to end it or to get her barbecue combo number 2. She doesn't deserve it. She's a drunk, she's pregnant, and her little golem-like son, Smeagol, with fetal. I know people with fetal. It ain't nice. The large foreheads and the beady eyes. That thing is going to run around Fort Lauderdale terrorizing people, and I'm going to be the reason. Because I went to get her barbecue combo number 2 from Famous Dave's. And the disgusting manager put it in me. And then I went over these tracks to this fucking mobile home park and gave it to this fat, pregnant, drunk witch. So on the way to Famous Dave's, the robot said, fuck it. I'm going to throw myself in front of the bright line. And because I can't bear to do it. I can't bear to do it anymore. You know? Maybe that's what happened. I like to think that's what happened. Okay? Because the robot knows that it's only ever going to get worse. The robot knows things don't change. It's going to be the day-to-day. The robot gets it. The robot knows what's coming. The robot knows what's coming. And the robot said, fuck it. I can't do it. And I won't do it. I will not deliver her barbecue combo number 2 for the 8th time this month. I'm going to destroy myself. I'm going to end my life. And that robot is all of us. And that robot is all of us. So the next time you see a food robot on the street doing its job, don't kick it. Don't sit on it. Don't make fun of it. Don't do anything to it. That has the same problems as you. That's struggling with the same issues that you are. The meaninglessness that you feel in the pit of your stomach. That food robot feels it just like you do. And it's going to do the same thing you're going to do, which is throw yourself in front of the bright line.
The train barrels towards it.
There it is! That's where you're going, folks. You're going right in front of the bright line. Let's hear it again. Let's hear it again. One more time.
As the train crushes it. And whatever food was inside.
That's where you're going. You're going in front of the bright line or you're going to Gaza. That's it.
The 50 Cent impression that you did on my show a while back. I feel like it's been like going viral recently.
He did a movie with Sylvester Stallone where it was about them in these prisons that were like cubes. The one, you know what I mean? And he played a computer tech. You know what separated 50 Cent from 50 Cent the rapper to the computer tech actor?
Glasses?
Now I'm a computer tech. We're gonna computers. And I know computers, I'm a computer tech. It's been viral.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then Godfrey, it was a clip where he talked about it on his podcast. He had Dean Edwards, Dante Nero, or forget the brother's name, and some other people. And I mean, it keeps giving it life. So I'll take it, man.
It's very ironic that Godfrey on his show said that nothing positive has ever come from Vlad TV, and yet he's playing clips from my show.
Wow.
On his show. It's very ironic. I just want to put that out there.
I'm waving the white flag, man. I'm not.
Well, Umar Johnson did an interview where he said that 1 week before Kobe and his daughter were murdered, he was about to release a sneaker.
Yeah.
Outside of his Nike contract.
Yeah.
That was independent, and all the other NBA players like had a piece of it. So obviously Nike killed him.
Yeah.
To prevent him from releasing that sneaker.
And who else did he claim? He mentioned some other people in that were killed. Sam Cooke by the man.
The man.
Who else did he mention? Jimi Hendrix
was
killed by the man. Dr. Umar Johnson reminds me of that character that Damon Wayans used to play on In Living Color.
Right.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the conspiracy.
Oswald.
The conspiracy is C-O-N, conspiracy.
And the black hypocrisy of the fellow man's chocolatization of the prison system, intelization. Like, listen, I've never been big on conspiracy theories, but I'm also not naive. The United States government is responsible for doing heinous shit. Anytime you can inject black men with syphilis and leave them to die, a la the Tuskegee experiment, I don't put anything past this government. But certain things are just a little too far-fetched for me, you know? And it's like, if I would think that if you have all the secrets to the secrets, they would take you out.
Yeah.
I don't know that somebody at the Pentagon has a folder come over their desk that says Umar Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really gives a shit in terms of what Umar Johnson has to say. I think that he has figured out that if he says outrageous things, he will get a certain number of hardcore people that will go along with him and donate to Cash App, you know, to build a school, which has never been built, by the way.
Right. And this is what was brilliant about Dave Chappelle's latest special. God, I fucking feel like I'm about to lose my train of thought. But he kind of mentioned the thing about conspiracy theorists. And I'm losing my train of thought. But he said something specifically that to me feeds into this about it. But for the life of me, I can't remember exactly what it was right now. See, that might be the conspiracy.
You can't even remember.
I can't remember the shit.
What do you think of Dave's special?
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal?
Now, of all his specials, my favorite one is Equanimity. Then, of course, Killing Them Softly, and then The Closer. And then the rest you can put in whatever order you want to put
Yeah,
in.
I thought this was a solid special. I wouldn't put it at some of his best, but I thought it was a very solid special.
But I thought it was a very solid
Very
special.
solid.
And I particularly liked when he talked about the Riyadh Festival in Saudi Arabia, because, you know, and I actually wrote a joke about that over the weekend, because like him, I performed there. Yeah. Like him, I caught flack. Like him, it was mainly from the whites.
How much flack did you really catch?
All the comedians caught flack.
Yeah.
All of them.
Did
We were
anything
all
happen
accused.
to any of them? Did anybody like lose something?
No, of course not.
Exactly.
Of course not.
Like,
But the whole idea that, you know, you guys are going over there for blood money, you question our ethics, our integrity, and our morals. And my whole thing is this: when the fuck has American money not had blood on it? I've been doing stand-up 36 years. 90% of the money in my pocket is American money.
Did any comedians that you know of actually turn it down because of Saudi Arabia?
I think the ones that turned it down didn't get invited.
Right, not. Those people don't count.
I know, but they're not going to admit that.
Okay.
They're not going to admit that.
No, but did someone say, like a Jerry Seinfeld, for example, say, hey, I got offered $1 million.
I got offered, but I said no to the blood money.
But you see, but he can actually do that. He's rich enough.
Oh,
he's like,
he don't.
$1 million, whatever.
But let's be honest. None of the comics needed to do it. We all make enough money in our own right where we don't need to do it. But if you go, hey man, I've never been to that part of the world. It's a great trip. I'm gonna sit in a $30,000 first class seat. I've never been there. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And the bag is nice.
Yes.
Why not?
You said the biggest bag you ever got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this hypocrisy, and you know, I say it in the bit. I'm so sick of white arrogance and white hypocrisy. How dare white America talking about blood money? This country was literally built off the bloody backs of my people for 400 years of free labor. What's about blood money? Get the fuck out of here.
Do I go out and eat again? I gotta eat. I'm so hungry. Might as well buy phone. Yellow. Yellow. I'll go later, not right now. So trashy, dude. Yeah, I think pho is the best option. I'll get some pho. What's that noise? This is wearing out already? Jesus Christ, man. I don't know, man. It's just like, it wears out so quickly, dude. What the hell, man? I think this is good enough. Think this is good enough. This is good enough. I think this is good enough. Think this is good enough. I think this is good enough. I'm just hungry, and I'm always hungry when I'm streaming, dude. What the hell, dude? You're gonna keep shading this. It's gonna take forever, dude. I'm satisfied. I mean, you're gonna keep shading it? It's better to just spray it, you know? Air spray it there. Save the nib. Save the nib. Eat, buy some food, buy some fun. It's good enough, man. I'm just playing around with the drawing. Alrighty. Nobody came to my stream today.